Ted? Honourable members, I've been informed that the whipper has agreed that there will be no notice of motion or motion without notice, except motions in respect of the order paper. Honourable Chief Whip.
House Chairperson, thank you very, very much. If you indulge me, Chair, may I start with the motion written in yellow here, referring to the fact that the matter on the joint ad hoc committee on the appointment of the board members not served today. It's a motion for this House. I move so, Chairperson.
Thank you, Chief Whip. Is there any objection? No objection. Honourable Bukarakis?
Honourable House Chairperson, my mic doesn't seem to be working.
It's here.
Thank you, Honourable House Chairperson. Honourable House Chairperson, just before we vote, I know the voting is going to take place on a provincial basis. But just on a point of order, I would like to refer you to my home screen over here with regards to the other votes of today, and specifically the column that says quorum. Now, the quorum over there says 30, and with regards to what happened yesterday, I just want to know whether that 30 is indeed correct as our interpretation yesterday of the Constitution, or whether you would like this to wipe the egg of your colleague's face instead of ours. Thank you.
No, it's not linked to what we are discussing. There are no objections in the motion by the Chief Whip. We now come to the motion on the order paper as printed in the name of the Chief Whip. Chief Whip.
Thank you very much once more, House Chairperson. I move that Rule 239 subsection 1, which provides inter alia that the consideration of a bill may not commence before at least 3 working days have lapsed since the committee's report was tabled, be suspended for the purposes of consideration of the Appropriation Bill B3-2016 National Assembly, Section 77. I move accordingly, House Chair.
Thank you. As there is no speakers list, I shall now put the question. The question is that the motion we agreed to, in accordance with Rule 7.1, I shall first allow provinces the opportunity to make declaration of votes if they so wish. We shall now proceed to the voting on the question. I shall do it. No, Honourable Van Lingen, there's no hand. Honourable Van Lingen, there's no hand. Thank you. We shall now proceed to the voting on the question. I shall do this in alphabetical order per province. I now call upon provinces. Eastern Cape.
Eastern Cape supports, Chair.
Free State.
Chairperson.
Gauteng.
Gauteng agrees.
KwaZulu-Natal,
KwaZulu-Natal support, Chair.
Limpopo,
Limpopo supports.
Mpumalanga,
Mpumalanga supports.
Northern Cape,
Northern Cape supports.
Northwest,
Northwest supports.
Western Cape,
Is it the NIPD? On what motion are we voting now, Chair?
the one of.
3-day rule,
Yes,
we support.
thank you. 9 provinces voted in favor. I therefore declare the motion as agreed to in terms of section 65 of the Constitution. The Secretary will read the second and third order of the day.
Consideration of votes and schedule, Appropriation Bill, Bill 3 of 2016. Consideration of Appropriation Bill, Bill 3 of 2016, and report of Select Committee on Appropriations thereon.
Honorable Muhai.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson, and thanks for the opportunity to present.
It's fine now. It's fine now, Honorable Muhai. No, you have pressed it. Press it again. Yeah, don't press it.
Thanks very much, Honorable Chairperson and honorable members. Thanks for the opportunity to present the statement on the appropriation bill just a day after the people of South Africa joined the rest of the continent in celebrating Africa Day. The great visionaries gathered in 1963 to form an organization of African unity. Today, under the leadership of African Union, the continent pledges to work together to cultivate peace, economic growth and prosperity for the continent. And last evening, the President of the Republic inspired the rest of the people of South Africa when we quipped that Africa's time has arrived, that the task of working for better Africa and better world remains uppermost on our agenda, that industrialization will play a critical role in rebuilding the continent's economy. Chairperson, the bill was tabled in the National Assembly during the tabling of the national budget by Minister of Finance, Minister Gordon, on the 24th February 2016. The bill has been passed by the National Assembly and referred to the National Council of Provinces on the 18th May 2016 for concurrence. Thereafter, the bill was referred to the Committee for Consideration and Report to the House. This is a Section 77 bill which the committee processed in terms of Section 77 bill's procedures. The bill provides for the appropriation of money from National Revenue Fund in terms of Section 213 of the Constitution of 1996, Section 15 of the Public Finance Management Act of 1999. Although this is a Section 77 bill not directly affecting provinces, the bill indirectly affects provinces as it is a money bill that appropriates funds to national departments with concurrent provincial functions. Furthermore, it funds issues of national interest, international relations, economic development, job creation, security, and social cohesion, which have direct implications of provinces. During the 2016 State of the Nation address, the President Zuma reiterated that government is embarking on an aggressive infrastructure development program to stimulate growth. The President further reiterated on the 9-point plan announced in 2015 and 2016 in response to sluggish economic growth. Some of the measures included in the 9-point plan are more effective implementation of a higher impact industrial policy action plan, resolving the energy challenges, prioritizing water and sanitation, as well as transport infrastructure projects. When the Minister of Finance presented the 2016 budget, he indicated that as resilient South Africa is making hard choices in difficult times. He further indicated that in response to the deteriorating economic outlook and heightened risk of external shocks, the 2016 budget sets a course of more rapid fiscal consolidation, narrowing the budget deficit more quickly than projected and stabilizing the growth of public debt. Chairperson, the country has recently witnessed positive reactions by the markets to government budget proposals. The current budget focuses on fiscal consolidation, stabilizing debt, and efficient spending plans. The IMF and credit rating agencies responded positively to government attempts to consolidate its finances. The IMF mission noted that the government is making a welcome progress in addressing infrastructure bottlenecks, especially in the electricity sector, and had committed to state-owned enterprise reform and is strengthening public procurement. The IMF mission further indicated that a comprehensive package of structural reforms remain the preferable option to create jobs and reduce inequality. More recently, credit rating agencies Moody decided to keep South Africa's credit rating as is, and we salute the work that the Minister of Finance has been doing in this regard and the rest of government. We now await the outcome of the fellow credit rating agencies Fitch and Standard & Poor's on Friday, 4th of June. The bill appropriates a total amount of 721.1 billion in 2016-17 to address key government spending priorities as stated in the NDP, State of the Nation Address and 2016 Budget Review. For example, public sector infrastructure spending over the 2016 Medium-Term Expenditure Framework, MTEF period, is estimated to total of 865.4 billion. The current financial year's infrastructure spending is about 129 billion. State-owned companies continue to account for the bulk of capital investment, spending a projected 337 billion over the next 3 years and about 105.1 billion in this financial year. Provinces are expected to spend 206 billion on public infrastructure over the MTEF period, whilst municipalities are forecasted to spend 175.6 billion over the same period. Economic infrastructure accounts for 75% of the total public infrastructure spending. Social services infrastructure accounts for 22%, while education and health infrastructure spending accounts for 6% and 3% respectively. Other priorities are addressed by allocations within the bill are energy expenditure at 41.3 billion, drought relief at 1 billion, water and sanitation infrastructure projects at 32.2 billion, as well as transport and logistics at 29.4 billion. The committee is satisfied that through the 2016 budget, and in particular allocations within the bill, the department demonstrated that government is committed to translate fiscal plans into concrete actions that will ensure that South Africa remains an investment-grade country. Chairperson, we regard budget as a very important instrument to to change the lives of our people for the better and ensure that our country prospers and assert itself in the community of nations. To conclude, Chairperson, the Select Committee on Appropriations, having considered the Appropriation Bill, Bill 3 of 2016, referred to it and classified by joint taking mechanism as Section 77 bill, reports that it has agreed to the bill without any other amendments. And we only noted objections from DA and EFF. I therefore propose that the House approves the bill, Chairperson. Thanks.
Thank you. That concludes the debate. I shall now put the votes in the order paper in which they appear. On the schedule to the bill. Before I do so, I would like to remind honorable members that when voting, doors will be closed. I now put vote 1. Any objection?
We call for a division on the vote.
Call for division? Okay. Thank you. Yeah, it's more than 4. Honorable members, so that it can be simple for me presiding, I request that let's have those that are objecting to be on the other side, and then the others to be on the other side, and then the whips will assist me with the counting. It will be simple. No, there's no need for noise, members. You just quickly move to those places, and then let me have a person that will be, Honorable Chief Whip, let me have a person that will be assisting with the counting this side, and then Honorable Labuskachen, I will have the person that will assist with the counting that side. Honorable member that will assist me when dealing with the counting. Honorable, no. Honorable Faber.
Yes, thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, yes, I just see we want to log out of our systems here and we are not able to log out. If you can perhaps just see to it that everyone can be logged out again. Because we are logged in.
Automatically do that, but we're not going to be using the system. So in any case, that won't be any problem. Rest assured. Honorable Chief Whip. I have the one from the other side. I'm still not having an honorable member that, or Honorable Ngita will be doing it. We are doing a declaration. Yeah. Let's deal with the declaration. Okay. Honorable Engelbrecht.
Mr. Chair, thank you. I absolutely hate horror movies, but I'd like to share certain scenes in a horror movie of disastrous proportions unfolding in this beloved country. A horror movie affecting the lives of every citizen and especially the lives of the 8.9 million unemployed. The backdrop to this horror is the slowest growing economy since 2009, South Africa's debt threatened by a credit downgrade to junk status, and an expanded unemployment rate of 35%. The first scene, the CoGTA scene, where influential friends use a national key point to transport guests to a wedding. The Nakandla scene, 215 million private home upgrade.
It's fine, the system. It's fine now. Continue. Order, members.
The secret nuclear power deal with Russia. The sacking of ex-Minister Nene. The 603 million Airbus leasing scene, with Dudu Menyani as the best supporting actress. And so the screen is filled with scenes that will forever go down as the end of the beginning. We as South Africans cannot support a budget where the President has failed to deliver and is prepared to compromise the Constitution to protect himself from oversight. The ruling by the 11 judges was unanimous. This President and the ANC-led Parliament acted against the Constitution by failing to uphold, defend and respect the Constitution of South Africa. No longer can the citizens of this country be expected to support this government, and neither will the DA support this budget vote.
Thank you. IAFP.
Sihlalo hloniphekile angithokoze. Sesikuphi isihlalo?
We're dealing with number one. Vote one.
Oh, wangithola kahle ke sihlalo. No, thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. The IFP would like to say the following in respect of vote number one. Firstly, we are raising our concern that the Presidency does not have an oversight committee because there is no standing committee or portfolio committee of Parliament in respect of the Presidency. We have repeatedly raised this concern. We are still raising it, Honorable Chairperson. We would like to see in the future a situation where Parliament is also able to play oversight through a committee of Parliament on the Presidency. This will, Chairperson, improve the spending so that in future we do not see another Nkandla saga, whoever may be our next Nkandla, so that this does not happen again. Bad decisions have been taken, and these bad decisions taken are not controlled effectively because of this lack of oversight. We also would like to see the Presidency improving on spending. So far, the Presidency has suffered on wasteful expenditure. The Presidency has suffered on appeals which do not see the light of day in court. Each time there is an appeal, it's wasteful expenditure because the Presidency is losing, or rather government of South Africa is losing all these appeals in courts. All this is because there is too much power which does not get checked in the Presidency. So this issue for the IFP of an oversight committee on the Presidency is important. This will not just improve the image of an individual, it will improve the image of the office, which is the first office of our country. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. ANC?
Thank you, Chairperson. The Presidency is a nerve center of government of South Africa. It coordinates policy synergy and the functionality and alignment. It monitors policies and programs. The President of the Republic of South Africa supervises the vision, the National Development Plan, which is a rallying plan for all South Africans. It's a plan that will change the lives of the people for the better. South Africa is better off today that the President has established infrastructure coordinating mechanisms. We see construction of dams, railway lines, roads in South Africa, accelerated pace of change in our country because of the Presidency. We in the ANC believe in a strong developmental state that has got capacity to deliver services to our people. We reject the view expressed, particularly by the Democratic Alliance, that seeks to weaken our government to be a laissez-faire approach that is unable to intervene. They do so in a narrow manner of seeking to protect narrow regional view. Western Cape, they cannot hide anymore. Western Cape is part of South Africa's people, and we will continue as the ANC to ensure that our policy positions reaches out to our people, regardless of those who seek to hide behind an agenda that seeks to undermine the ongoing transformation agenda of our country. We support the Presidency. Operation Pakisa, the innovation on oceans economy, is the ability to provide leadership to South Africa. They have run out of issues, continue to be stagnant political parties that do not understand the future of our country. We support the vote as ANC Chair.
Thank you. To make it simple, in this row, at the far back, if there's people, honorable members that will be abstaining, they will be on the other side. Then this is the party that are people that are voting against. This one is those that are voting in favor. Then I need the RC. Honorable Isaac.
Chairperson, sorry, I didn't mean to disturb you, but I just thought through you, you can always just ask Honorable Kaula to join and take a seat next to Julius. Just make it easier for you to control things.
No. Order members, can the honorable members that are doing the counting assist us? Yeah, now, honorable members, we are dealing with vote 1 now. Yeah, I don't want us to have that mistake again when we're done and then people are saying, no, I thought we were dealing with vote 3. Now we're dealing with vote 1. No abstention, 11 against, 30 voted in favor. The majority have voted in favor. I therefore declare vote 1 as agreed to in terms of section 75. Then we come to, I now put vote 2. Any objections?
We declare and object. And divide.
Okay. Thank you. You meet the requirements. Let's get to the declaration. DA.
Honourable Chair, the NCP as part of Parliament has a specific role to fulfil with regards to representing the provinces and legislation. It further has to ensure that the citizens of our country contribute to the legislation processes and also to ensure that legislation regulates those things that matters and influences the lives of each and every person, rich and poor, connected and unconnected. We found it a constant battle to ensure that the legislative processes are managed according to the Constitution and the rules. We further find it difficult to accept that legislation have to be rushed through the NCOP in 6 or 8 weeks while we are responsible to represent our provinces. We often need more time to enable provinces to ensure effective public participation in the legislation process. The principles of fairness and representativity are not always implemented during plenaries, which implies that freedom of speech, democracy, and a fair government are not always practiced in this House. The process of reviewing the rules have been started in the 4th Parliament. We are now midterm in the 5th Parliament, and the rules have not yet been adopted. Honourable Chair, this House needs to finalise rules that restore the functions and dignity of the NCP. The DA does not support the vote. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other party? ANC?
Thank you very much, Honorable House Chairperson. The People's Movement, the African National Congress, supports the Parliament budget vote. We say this because our Parliament remains one of the fundamental pillars of our thriving democracy. Chairperson, the budget vote reassets our collective efforts to work tirelessly to ensure that this Parliament continues to represent the highest embodiment of the people of South Africa. We will continue to ensure that this Parliament serves as a platform for robust debate and continues to pass laws that will improve the lives and the living conditions of our peoples. House Chairperson, thanks to the 408 TV station, some unfounded assertions were made here about the chief whip of this institution. Firstly, Chairperson, 86% of the members in this House are new, and if parachuting means you are new in this institution, then there are quite a number of parachutes in this House, including from the DA. Honorable Chairperson, as a deployer of the African National Congress, I rose through the ranks. Any assertion that seems to claim that I was parachuted by the secretary of the ANC is not only devoid of truth, but totally insulting to my service to the ANC and the entire Congress movement. Chairperson, like all members of this council, I was deployed by my political party. I intend to serve my movement and the people of South Africa. As for my acceptance speech, Chairperson, those who went to school up to a certain level understood my acceptance speech and they gave me a standing ovation. DA must watch the clip once more. Only those who didn't understand figures of speech thought that I did not know. Honorable Chairperson.
Honorable Chief Whip, let me entertain Honorable Mikalakis. Sorry, take your seat. Honorable.
Thank you, Honourable House Chairperson. On a point of order, the Chief Whip is respectfully misleading this House. When the DA made comments about her, not a single one of her colleagues got up to defend her on that. It means that they were agreeing with us. Not a single one of them got up to defend her. She's misleading this House.
Honorable Kalakis, that is not a point of order. Honorable Hatting.
Honourable Chair, we expect that the Chief Whip should set an example. And when the Chair addresses her, that she should sit down, keep quiet, and listen to a point of order. She cannot disregard you as Chair. This is why the Parliament is in such a situation where that's a point of order of disrespect for the Chair.
Honourable Hatting, can you take your seat so that I address your point of order? Number one, she said because I ordered her to sit and address and gave the opportunity to Omar Mikalakis. The second point that you are raising, now instead of doing the correct thing that you are addressing me as a presiding officer, you want to entertain other honorable members. And that was not a point of order. Can you conclude, Honorable Chief Whip?
Chairperson, thank you very, very much. And as this August House, the House of the political majority and the people who are cool-minded, cool-headed, we don't work and decide on knee-jerk reactions. We came here, we studied the situation, and for this reason, as we come back, we have made propositions that will have an innovative way of dealing with motions and debates. House Chairperson, we remain committed to ensuring that in the third term, we table the revised rule of this council, which process has gone a long way to make sure that we have rules that move with times. We must put an end, Chairperson, to the practice of those people who are moonlighting as actors, as party administrators, self-diagnosed patients, and untrained political sangomas who are perpetually absent from this House. We must put an end, Chairperson, to this practice, which is nothing but stealing from the
Honorable
people
Chief
who pay
Whip,
us every
Honorable
month.
Chief Whip, I'm afraid your time has expired. Honorable Van Lengen, thank you. Why are you standing?
Honourable Chairperson, is it parliamentary to call the members, the honourable members in this House, untrained political sangomas?
Order, members. Order, members.
I don't mind being a trained
let me address
one.
it.
I don't mind being a trained one,
No,
but they're untrained
let me address
one.
it. Let me address your point of order. Take your seat. No,
Then,
I'm
Chairperson,
addressing it.
the 3 minutes
Let me
in a
address it.
declaration. So we're either going to stick to 3 minutes or we're going to sit here till tomorrow morning.
Let me order, members. Let me deal with the second one. When dealing with the declarations, you are correct, Honorable Van Lingen. It's strictly 3 minutes. She's correct. She's reminding us it's 3 minutes. But when we entertain the point of order, they stop the watch automatically. Then coming to the second issue, let me appeal to all of you members in terms of Rule 46, that for us to be able to maintain the decorum, let's refrain from using offensive and unbecoming language. Yeah, that rule is very clear about the offensive and unbecoming language. I'm appealing to all of you. We come to the voting now. Honorable Smith.
Honorable House Chair, just on a point of clarity, I want to know whether the Honorable Chief Whip are aware that she's actually the Chief Whip of the House and not the Chief Whip of the ANC.
As a presiding officer, order members, as a presiding officer, Honorable Smith is stating a fact. It's not an issue that we can subject to a decision. It's like that. Chief Whip is your Chief Whip. It's the Chief Whip of the House. Let's come to the voting. We're dealing with those that are voting in favor and those that are voting against. No, don't worry, Honorable Fanling and Honorable Lauskachen will assist me. We're dealing with vote 2. No abstention. Against, it's 11. In favor, it's 29. The majority voted in favor. I therefore declare the vote agreed, as agreed to. Honorable
Chamber.
Hello?
Did anybody leave the chamber? Because we were 30 in the previous vote and we're 29 now.
Eh? Let me deal with this one, the second one. It's 29 in favor, 11 against, no abstention. The majority voted in favor. I therefore declare the vote is agreed to. Then coming to the point that Honorable Labuskachen is raising, I made to understand that they gave me a wrong figure. So the correct, no, let's go back to vote 1, the one of the presidents. It's in favor, the correct one was supposed to be 29. No, it's a point of order that is correct. Order members, it's a point of order that is correct. Honorable Labusakhen, you are assisting us. 29 voted in favor, 11 against, no abstention. The majority have voted in favor. I therefore declare the vote is agreed to. Thanks for assisting us. I was correcting the mistake that was made by vote when we're dealing with vote 1. We now come to vote 3. I now put vote 3. Any objection? Note the objection and the declaration. Honorable Kaula.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. The Inkatha Freedom Party objects to vote 3 communications.
Let's get to the declaration.
The intended regulation of affairs of the media practitioners is a step in the wrong direction. Minister Mutambi, in a budget vote speech, blamed the media for reporting that government is corrupt, inept, and helpless. Taxpayers' money can never be spent to suppress the freedom of media. Corruption is real and people have a right to know about it. The Western Cape High Court's dismissal of SABC and Claudia Mutsoneng's application for leave to appeal the decision set aside by Mr. Mutsoneng's permanent appointment as SABC COO is a victory for all who value our constitutional democracy and an independent public broadcaster. Knowing the public protector's findings that Mr. Mutsoneng lied about his qualifications, abused his power by increasing his own salary from 1.5 to 2.4 million, purging senior staff members, irregularly increased salaries of some staff members, Minister Mutambi still went ahead and permanently appointed a man who is clearly not suitable for this job. The appeal process is a waste of taxpayers' money. Anyone supporting this budget must bear in mind that you are supporting a department that is at the heart of state capture. The DA does not support this budget. Thank you, Chair.
Any other party? Any other party? Okay, ANC.
Thank you, House Chairperson. On behalf of the ANC, I rise to congratulate the Minister of Communication, Honorable Mutambi, and the Department for the successful and speedy rollout of digital migration projects since he assumed office. The House, in this regard, must note the following significant achievements, and these are the implementation of the DTT in the Northern Cape in areas such as Keimbus, Brandvlei, Carnaval, Van Wyksvlei, and Wilton. In addition, in provinces like Limpopo, Mpumalanga, and to a certain extent, Free State, weekly registrations of indigent television-owning households are ongoing. As the department continues to work with all structures, including our traditional leaders, and strengthen its footprints in communities. The 1st of February 2016 has been announced as the commencement of the dual elimination performance period. The department is working with all role players in an endeavor to complete the Northern Cape SKA area on or before the June 2016 deadline. A total of 2,815 young youth will be trained as installers in all municipalities across the country, and thereby creating jobs and bringing about much needed skills base to the youth in our communities. Chairperson, we take pride that since July 2015, Department has launched public awareness campaigns to educate our people about the need to migrate to the benefits of DTT.
Honorable Prince, sorry, can you take your seat? There's a point of order from Honorable Kaula.
Chairperson, there is a point of order. I do recall that our colleagues from the EFF could not be part of these proceedings last year because when we started, they were outside and they were locked out because the rule is when we have started, nobody can come in and nobody can go out. Now, I see the Honorable Minister has just sneaked into the House.
No, that is not a point of order. We lock it when we are voting. We are welcome, Honorable Minister. Continue, Honorable Prince.
Chairperson, public awareness are being rolled out weekly in Limpopo, Mpumalanga, and Northern Cape. This program will not only enhance the quality of life of our people, but it will boost the economy of the country and create jobs that will improve the socio-economic circumstances of our people. The budget will enable the department to carry out its mandate within the specific time frames. This includes reducing the cost of communicate, whilst also promoting universal access to the means of communication and intervention that will improve the quality, life of our people. The ANC support the appropriation bill.
Thank you. Any other party? Honorable Kaula, IFP.
Thanks, Honorable Chairperson. The IFP is objecting to communications. One, we feel that the Department of Communications and also the Department of Telecommunications and Postal Services are unnecessarily split. This is waste of resources because these two departments naturally belong to one to one field. They were not supposed to have been separated. And secondly, as we approach elections, Honorable Chairperson, we do want to say that we are looking into free, fair, and equitable coverage of all the political parties in the country. This does not happen with the SAPC. The SAPC has always been and continues to be the mouthpiece propaganda machinery of the ruling party. And for as long as this is happening, then the SAPC does not belong to the country, but it belongs to a particular political party. And therefore, Honorable Chairperson, we are objecting to this as the IFP, and we are saying to the powers that be, bring telecommunications and communications together. They belong together. We are therefore abstaining.
Thank you. So that we can be sure those that are voting in favor, let them raise their hands. And then I'll be assisted. Thank you. We come to those that are abstaining. Thank you. Against? Against? We're not going to take it for granted. We want to be sure with the numbers. Thank you. Then let's have the numbers.
There are members walking around while we are voting. I don't think that should be allowed.
Order, members. Abstain, it's 1. Against, it's 11. In favor, is 28. The majority have voted in favor. I therefore declare the vote 3 as agreed to.
Order. A member walked around during the voting process. That could influence the counting.
No, Honorable Hatting, let me address your point of order.
Can a member walk around during voting?
No, they can't walk around. It's wrong.
It has happened just now.
Yeah, I'm expecting Honorable Labuskachen and Honorable Nita as they are the two people, and Honorable Kaula as the person who's moving around because he was abstaining. Honorable Faber.
Yes, I'm not referring to any other member, a whip or whatever. My point is that members should not be allowed to walk around during voting because
Yes, I agree with you.
invalidate the voting, and that has happened during the vote.
I agree with you. I think that is correct. Members must not walk around. Honorable Faber.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I feel, and I'm happy that the Minister Gordon is here because, you know, we are having this electronic equipment here. And to me, this is now what we call wasteful expenditure. We're not using this stuff.
Honorable
for voting.
Faber.
I would like to
Faber.
rule on this, please.
Honorable Faber. That is not a point of order. Let us now come to vote for. I now put vote for. Any objection? Let me see the numbers of those that are supporting. Thank you. Okay. Let's deal with the declaration. DA, Honorable Kalapis.
Thank you, Honorable House Chairperson. Residents are taking to the streets, displaying their dissatisfaction with the state of corruption that exists in their councils and the lack of service delivery. In the Western Cape, we have Kanaland. In Mpumalanga, we have Tabachwea. In Gauteng, we have Westernaria. In Limpopo, we have Tabazembe. In KwaZulu-Natal, we have Mzunduzi. In the Eastern Cape, we have Garib. These ANC-led municipalities are in dire need of intervention. Not political intervention, but administrative intervention, as highlighted in the report from the Fourth Parliament. We acknowledge the improved audit outcomes, but note that there is still a long way to go, and that irregular, fruitless, and wasteful expenditure is still too high. Municipalities that have been placed under Section 139(1)(b) administration or C dissolution has proven to have failed in ensuring that the oversight implementation of these dysfunctional municipalities regressed instead of improving. The costs incurred during administration and the fact that proper exit plans are not enforced borders on further fruitless and wasteful expenditure. Honourable Mota Shuping, you must listen, you might learn something. In some instances, we have witnessed council financial debt increase extensively when placed under administration. CoGTA has failed to act both decisively and with speed in dealing with some dysfunctional municipalities and placing them under immediate administration, but rather waiting for residents to take to the streets with violent service delivery protests and barricading of national roads. This is eminent of political intervention rather than administrative administration. The Municipal Demarcation Board has also failed to ensure that there is transparency. It bowed to the pressure from the ANC and allowed for the gerrymandering of wards and outer boundaries in terms of Section 22 of the Municipal Demarcation Act in hotly contested councils to benefit the ANC. But here again, insufficient funding has been allocated to this department to ensure that those municipalities that have been amalgamated are in a state of readiness immediately after the elections. There is also underfunding for assistance to the provinces and councils with reference to the disaster management departments. The inadequate provision of equitable share to municipalities and CoGTA's eagerness to accede to National Treasury's threat to withhold the equitable share to municipalities that were in arrears to ESCOM, thereby increasing the financial burden on councils. The DA, therefore, based on the above declaration, opposes the budget for vote 4 for CoGTA. Thank you.
Thank you. IFP, Honorable Kaula.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. Firstly, the IFP would like to raise a concern in respect of the Municipal Demarcation Board, whose decisions are not service delivery driven, but the decisions of the board are intent on political point scoring. This has been reflected where boundaries are adjusted so as to suit a particular political party during voting, and such decisions are not taken in order to benefit the communities on the ground. Whenever there is a party that is in power, the Municipal Demarcation Board will then come with a big hammer and adjust boundaries so as to make so and so win and to make so and so lose. And secondly, Honorable Chairperson, the corruption in the municipalities is driven from regional offices of a certain political party. I did state this even last year. I'm repeating this, Honorable Chairperson, to say for as long as the powers of these secretaries are not curtailed, for as long as they are the ones who tell managers who to appoint, who tell managers who to employ, who tell managers who to influence a tender to, you will not stop this corruption. In fact, when the Deputy Chairperson of SALGA was making a presentation in this house last year, he did say this. I am repeating what the Deputy Chairperson of SALGA told you at a workshop. And Chairperson, there is poor service delivery due to this cadre deployment. This has to be attended to. Back to basics, the IFP has always stated that we support back to basics, but back to basics cannot be used for wrong reasons. It can only be used as a monitoring tool. It is not a service delivery yardstick. So back to basics is good, and it's of course a copycat of the IFP principles. We support it, we like it, but not as a yardstick for service delivery. It is only a monitoring tool. And lastly, Chairperson, service delivery protests are testimony that things are not right in the country. And in fact, even response to service delivery protests in the country has been very poor, because there is nothing to say, there is nothing to do. People are protesting because of what is happening to them. They feel it, and now they are showing it. I thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you. Any party? ANC, Honorable Mohab.
Chairperson, thank you very much. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Perhaps we must start clarifying. It is not Section 159, it's supposed to be Section 139. I think the DA is quoting the law out of context. Chairperson, too, in terms of the protest, we have observed a decline in terms of the protest in our country, of which as the ANC we really welcome. MDB, Honorable Kaula, is an independent exercise of which we are also saying, allow MDB to finalize the process. As the ANC chairperson, we support this budget vote. The dawn of democracy in 1994 created a new dispensation in which access to basic services such as housing, water, and sanitation was recognized as a fundamental human right. South Africa inherited high levels of poverty, and it continues to be confronted with unequal and often inadequate access to resources, infrastructure, and social services. To us as ANC, approval or support to this budget vote means a lot. It means a lot not only to us, but also to our communities. Support towards departmental programs that will help to establish partnership and working collaboration with other sector departments and the private sector for revival and activation of economic activities and participation towards sustainable livelihoods in traditional communities which have been neglected for years by apartheid regime led by the forefathers of DA. It means support towards promotion of cultural and customary way of life, which conforms to the Bill of Rights and constitutional and democratic principles.
Honorable Mohab. Honorable Mkalakis. Honorable Julius, why are you standing?
Chairperson, Honorable Mohapi is deliberately misleading the House, and I think we already dealt with this one. There was a ruling on this. I am DA. Let him call my forefathers that did something to that effect. My forefathers, because he's a very young man. He's small. Why would he, does he know my forefathers? Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Damin, take your seat. Honorable Julius, that is not a point of order. Can you conclude, Honorable Mohab? Or Honorable Damin?
Thank you very much, Chair. Standing on a point of order. Honorable Julius is calling the honorable member as a young man, young boy. Is it parliamentary?
No. Honorable Julius. Honorable Julius. Order, members. Honorable members. Honorable members. No. Honorable Monopoly. Honorable Monopoly. Honorable members, we are going to have a long day. I've already appealed to all of you that as honorable members, let's refrain from using offensive and unbecoming language. I never referred it to an honorable member. I referred to all of you, irrespective of your party. Refrain from offensive language. Let's stick to what we're doing. Otherwise, we'll end up compromising the decorum of this House. Conclude, Honorable Mohape.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair.
I'm looking
Chairperson, aligned to these outcomes-oriented goals, the department will, during this period, through this budget, develop programs that will help communities to reduce number of deaths resulting from cultural initiation practices. To us as ANC, any loss of life counts. To DA, only votes counts. Hence, they don't support this budget vote. Indeed, this is hypocrisy at its best. Indeed, Chairperson, the department submit that through this budget vote, they will develop a plan that would include, among others, hosting an indaba of traditional leaders. We support this budget vote because we have seen through back-to-basic municipalities that were in distress and dysfunctional, improving their performance. The likes of Mukaka local municipality, which has been receiving disclaimer for years, has improved to obtain the positive audit outcome. The choice of any saying person will be obvious come the 3rd of August 2016, where the ANC will emerge victoriously because South Africa is a better place to stay than it was before 1994 during your apartheid era.
Thank you. We now come to the voting. Those that are voting in favor, raise your hands. Thank you. Abstaining, raise your hand. Are you abstaining? Against? 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 Thank you. The results of the division are as follows. Honorable Hatting.
Honorable Chair, despite your ruling, that member again walked around during the vote. Well, anybody can count. No, you don't look behind. The member was looking behind her. She's not allowed to walk around during voting, and you ruled on that, please.
Honorable Hatting, can you assist which member?
Honorable Nketi from the Eastern Cape.
No, Honorable Hatting. Honorable Nita and Honorable Labusakhen, I've allowed them to do that.
But, Honorable Chair, my point is, and you've ruled on that, when a member walks around, other members cannot count, and that's actually a motion of no confidence in the table staff in front. We should be doing the counting.
No, that is not a point of order, Honorable Hatting. Can you take your seat? Can you take your seat? Honorable Hatting, can you take your seat? Order, members. Abstaining, 0. Against, 11. In favor, 29. The majority voted in favor. I therefore declare the vote is agreed to. I now put vote 5. Yeah, we're now on vote 5. Honorable Labuskakhen.
Declare, object, and divide.
Thank you. Doing the declaration. EA Honorable Hatting.
Chair, before I start, I'm still learning here about walking around and.
Honorable Hatting.
But I will stand here. Honorable Chair, we note the decrease of the allocation in this budget.
We are protected, Honorable Hatting. Order, members. Let us not drown him. Honorable Hatting.
Honorable Chair, can we perhaps just get order, then I can start. Nobody's allowed to converse loudly in the chamber.
Members. Honorable Mhlanga. Can you continue, Honorable Hatting?
Honorable Chair, I will now start, but the colleague on my left hand, please, if you just tune the volume a bit down. We note the decrease of allocation in this budget by almost 200 million and wish to express our concern that this will have a significant impact on delivery to our citizens. There is still a lot of progress that needs to be made with the registration, for instance, of new births. Too many birth registry systems in hospital either not staffed, have connectivity problems, or are simply dysfunctional. There are also connectivity problems with many of the mobile offices, and unless this problem is addressed, the department will never achieve the intended outcomes. While senior departmental officers are working very hard to address the challenges of this department at a senior level, the bar to pele principle, its spirit, and the professionalism still lack at Home Affairs offices. The treatment of members of the public in some Home Affairs offices is unacceptable and is to the detriment of the image that the department wishes to portray, and unfortunately also by extrapolation, tainting the hard-working and efficient Department of Home Affairs officials. The Deputy Minister in this House did attempt to address during the debate the embarrassing situation that is in existence.
Honorable Hatting, can you take a seat and address why are you standing, Honorable Makwe?
Chairperson, I'm diabetic and I'm going to embarrass myself. I need to be granted permission to do what I have to, Chair. Can I be granted permission to leave the House and come back before the vote occurs? I am diabetic, Chair.
No,
and
Honorable
Chair, I
no,
am diabetic.
no. Let me deal with it. You can go out, but you can't disrupt a member that is speaking. I thought you were addressing what is raising, because that is not a point of order in what was raising. So sorry, Honorable Hatting, for that. Can you continue? Honorable Labuska Khan.
On a point of order, Chair, we are not busy with voting. We are doing our declarations. Rule 66 say that any member can move in and out the council, but before we start before we have to vote, the bells will have to ring, and then members are not allowed to come in and out. So that member was in his right to leave the chamber, because we are not busy with the action of voting.
Honorable Labuska Khan, we are correct. Already I've said that. That is why I'm saying it was wrong of him to stand out and disturb Honorable Hatting, because there's nothing wrong. That is why when the minister came in, I made a ruling when Honorable Kaula raised it. Honorable Hatting, can you continue, please? Sorry for that.
Apology accepted, thank you. But Honorable Chair, it explains and underlines the untrainability of some members. They do not understand our rules. Honorable, you included. The Deputy Minister did attempt to address some of the deficiencies in the embarrassing situation in existence in some offices, but judged by the steady flow of complaints from members of the public, too little is being done.
Honorable Hatting, Honorable Mohai.
Chairperson, I request you to rule on the statement that is made by Honorable Hatting, which is making a serious charge against honorable members of this House, that they are untrainable whenever members are expressing recently. That's very incorrect, what Honorable. No, he made a sweeping statement. No, I'm not saying.
Honorable Hatting, can you please refrain from casting aspersion about honorable members?
From?
Casting aspersion about honorable members. Continue.
Okay, I will not reflect on the untrainability of members again. Thank you, Chair. The Deputy Minister did attempt to address the embarrassing situation in existence. I've said that, but I was interrupted by these members, so I'm repeating it. At some offices, but judged by the steady flow of complaints from members of the public, too little is being done. Honorable Chair, the DA does not support this budget. Thank you.
Thank you. Any party? ANC, Honorable Dlamini.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Even though you have ruled on that, I think I want to agree with Honorable Hatton that some members are untrainable. We see that, Honorable Chair.
Honorable Dlamini. Can you withdraw that part because I've already made a ruling? You can't go to my
I
ruling.
withdraw, Chair.
Okay, continue.
I withdraw.
Continue.
Honorable Chair, the African National Congress support Vote 5, Department of Home Affairs, as a caring organization because it wants this department to protect our borders against unwanted things in the country, especially drugs and human trafficking. It takes organizations that does not care of its people, like the National Party and the Democratic Party, which are now called DA. It takes those people not to support this budget because it means, Honorable Chair, they don't want our borders to be protected. They want our children or our people to be trafficked in and out because it does not affect their members. Unfortunately, Chair, they want votes of those people, but they don't want them to be in parliament, as you can see. We also support, Honorable Chair, as the African National Congress because we want our people, especially those who will be writing exams, to get IDs. It means that EDA, EFF of course, because to show that they don't care, they are not here in the house. We do support, EDA does not support. We also support this budget, Honorable Chair, because we want our children who are supposed to be getting grants because they get their certificates, birth certificates from Home Affairs as a caring organization. The ANC support that. But it means that the DA does not care for those people as they only use them as voting cows. That is why maybe they are also using trucks okulasha inkomo ukuthi batransportele abantu.
Honorable Dlamini.
I ask you what is a voting cow? Because I've now seen some other
Thank you. Honorable members. Honorable members. Hopefully I'm saying it for the last time now. It's the responsibility of all of you as honorable members to maintain the decorum of the House. Refrain from anything that you see that is compromising the decorum. Conclude, Honorable Dlamini.
Honorable Chair, to date, this department, in terms of the smart card ID, it has done 4.1 IDs for our people, as compared to what the government of the Democratic Party and the National Party, which is the DA today, was doing before. We feel that this
Honorable Faber, why are you standing?
Chairperson, this honourable member is definitely misleading the House because the only member of the National Party is Honourable De Beer sitting here, not us.
That is not a point of order. Let's come to the order, members. Order, Faber. Honorable Faber, let's come to the voting. Those that are voting in favor. Yeah. Thank you. Now I'm dealing with those that are voting against. Thank you. Those that are abstaining. Abstain. Those that are abstaining, 0, against 11, in favor 29. The majority have voted in favor. I therefore declared vote 5 as agreed to. Honorable Mikalakis.
Thank you, House Chairperson. I don't mean to prolong the proceedings too much, but I do have a point of order, and I just want some clarity on your side. I'm very glad that you allowed Honourable Makwe to go out, because there are needs coming around while we vote on these different votes. Different members will need to go out on different occasions. I would just like some clarity on how you envisage to deal with Rule 66, because I'm just afraid one of us might be outside and we wouldn't know that a vote is going on. Rule 66A says that the bells must be rung. Now, for the sake of time, we're not doing that today, but how do you then envisage that we're going to alarm the members that a vote is going to happen, so that when they are outside, they know that they should come into the House? What do we have in place of the bells?
Honorable Mikalakis, all the members that are here when we started are aware that today, in today's session, we'll be dealing with this thing of voting. No, you have raised a point of order. I'm addressing it. I'm not recognizing you. I'm still right.
Decide not to follow the rules. You can't respectfully decide to go against the House rules.
No, I'm not. Honorable Mikalakis, I'm addressing your point of order. Before I can even finish, we are standing up, and I've not yet recognized you. I'm saying all honorable members are aware that in today's session, we'll be voting. Of course, if the member is out and we're getting to that process of voting, there are people that are controlling the door. It's not honorable members. We've got people that are controlling it. And any member that is getting out understanding that it's going to come back quickly. That is why there was the problem when Honorable Makwe disturbed Honorable Hatting. But as we are putting it, in terms of, we're not ringing the bell when we're starting the process of voting. We're not doing it. Yes.
I do hear what you say, and you made a rule, but I want to refer you to a decision and to various complaints that this rule that we're not going to ring the bells, that we are not going to make use of Rule 66, was not discussed in the WIPS forum, multi-WIPS forum, or in the programming committee. So this is again, the chair, the presiding officer and the ANC or the WIP decide what is going to be done in this House, and you just do it. And then you want to tell us we have to be decent people. We can't. We are in Parliament. We have to follow rules. And this is how it is, because this is the way we regulate and we do. Because if people are out there and they have a cup of coffee, and they don't know when they have to come in, the bell must ring. Then we have to decide, and we have to consider how we're going to go forward. This was not discussed.
Honorable members. Honorable members. Honorable members, let me assist you by saying, as we have started, we don't have a member that has been deprived an opportunity to participate in this voting session. Should it happen that we are going to experience that situation, let that be brought to my attention. No, I'm saying, Honorable Mikalakis. No, I'm saying, if there's a member that has been deprived that opportunity, let it be brought to my attention so that I can be able to assist. And if there is natural call for members who are going to be assisting to make sure that no member is going to be deprived an opportunity to participate in this session. I don't want to be bogged down. And now we come to, I now put vote 6. Okay, you see the support? Okay.
Can I do a declaration, or is he going to ask?
Yeah. Yes.
Thanks. Let me start.
I'm allowing you, Honour Forward.
Thank you, Chairperson. South Africa have a global footprint of 126 missions, second only to the United States. While this is admirable, the cost to the South African taxpayer is enormous. The Finance Minister has called for austerity measures, and one of the ways in which DIRCO can comply is to reduce the number of missions. The DA calls on the Minister to inform Parliament on the strategy to reduce our missions and to also advise when the strategy will be implemented. While the budget has reduced, it does not go far enough. The commitment to the BRICS banks is a good intention, but the actual amount in rand value over the next 6 years has not even been properly considered. Given that there are 8.9 million people without jobs, we should be considering investing our money for jobs in South Africa. The DA does not support this budget.
Any party? ANC, Honorable Makua.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. The ANC who leads this country, who have been in exile and already established their international relations, are better able to appreciate the importance of international relations in terms of inculcating a culture of human rights, in terms of partnering with other parts of the world. We know better how important it is for South Africans to have ease of travel in other parts of the world, and our embassies in those countries play a very important role in terms of ensuring that when we as South Africans travel abroad, we will be able to have our embassies to also help and take care of us. When we're talking of jobs, Chairperson, we know that it is important for multilateralism and also for the private sector to be able to have partnerships with multinational and other businesses in other parts of the world. And our embassies are playing a very important role in ensuring that access. There is therefore for us in the ANC no price that we can put to this very admirable status in which we have led this country, where we have, as Honorable Faber said, next to the United States, the biggest number of embassies in the world. Therefore, Chairperson, we actually regret that there had to be a cut in this budget. We feel that the Department of International Relations and Cooperation deserves to receive more money for us, but because of fiscal constraints, there is an understanding in that sphere that they need to get it. We will not take an hypocritical position where we come here and we sit with South African passports. Why don't we give back the passports if we are not supportive of the work that the department is offering to this country of ours with the great potential that we have to relocate ourselves in the international sphere, where we will no longer be the skunk of this earth, as Tata Madiba called it, or a pariah in the rest of the world. We are very grateful of this work and feel privileged to be able to vote in favor of an allocation of funds to the Department of International Relations and Cooperation. I thank you, Chair.
Thank you. There is no division on this one. There is no division on this one. Okay. I therefore declare vote 6 as agreed to. We come to, I now put vote 7. Vote 7. Hello? No, I'm saying there's no division. Yes. Yes. There's no division in vote 6. Yes. Let's do the counting for those that are in favor. Thank you. Against? Abstaining? Abstaining, 0, against 11, in favor 29. The majority voted in favor. I therefore declared vote 6 agreed to. I now put vote 7. Any objection? No objection. We are agreeing? The majority are in favor. I declare vote 7 agreed to. We now come to, I now put vote 8. Vote 8. Declaration and objection. Let me see the support. Or declaration. No objection. Only declaration.
Chair, there's an objection, which means we sit down. Declaration, which means we stand up.
Yes.
It's an objection and a declaration.
Okay. Can you, let's entertain the declarations. No, there is no declaration. Just we are noting the objection. I therefore declare vote 8 is agreed to. I now put vote 9. Vote 9. We're in vote 9 now.
Declare and divide.
Okay, let me see the support. Thank you. Let's have the declaration. DA.
Chair, yes, it's me. Just have to find my papers. Honorable Chairperson, the Department of Public Enterprises was established as a catalyst for privatization of semi-privatization of state-owned entities. Currently, the ANC government shy away from the word privatization. The irony is that we are experiencing a form of privatization with state-owned enterprises. It's simply being done unfairly and underhanded by allowing a specific family, the Guptas, to take control and gain tenders and contracts in the major state-owned enterprises. Growing evidence indicates that state-owned enterprises have been captured by the Guptas, not only influencing ministerial appointments, but appointments within the SOEs themselves. For example, in Eskom and Denel. All done with the knowledge and the approval of the ANC government and the President. State-owned companies were created to contribute to economic growth, job creation, industrialization, and transformation. Eskom planned to decommission 10,000 megawatt of power from aging power stations from 2020 onwards. The goalpost, however, was shifted, and now they propose to prolong the lifespan of the aging power stations, but no budget set aside for that. Lack of planning and protection of only some interests result in continuing rescue packages from Treasury. This implies that we all now have to pay the price for increasing costs without any guarantee that we will have sufficient energy or electricity for the next few generations. The department has no legal mandate. The minister can only take remedial actions against SOEs by changing the boards. These boards were shuffled every time a crisis arises due to the lack of leadership or sometimes due to their politicized leadership. If the President and the Minister are so serious about restructuring and reforming the SOEs, they should start implementing the recommendations listed in the Presidential Review Committee report on the reconstruction of state-owned enterprises. The report has been released 3 years ago, and none of the recommendations have been implemented. We would invest the savings, we as the DA would invest the savings and revenue generated from consolidating and privatization of SOEs to create an environment where there are opportunities for people enterprises. The DA opposes the budget.
Thank you. ANC, Honorable Pakis.
Chairperson, as the African National Congress, it is our belief that we ought to be lucid about the progress we have made on ESCOM. Abrupt load shedding in our country has been circumvented. The program to provide electricity to our people shall continue, to the chagrin of the opposition forces. They call for loyalty on the, and ability and performance. They say we have appointed the current CEO on the basis of loyalty. The DA's seditious behavior and their incorrigible racists supporting them. They call for the political neutrality and energy sector expertise and experience, believing in downward spiral of the entities.
Honorable Pakis.
Honorable Chairperson, but with absolute due respect to you, I think it is time that you take a stand about speakers that are misleading this House and the country. And then again, I must ask of you, is it befitting for an honorable member to write a declaration on an attendance slip? It's a total embarrassment to the ANC.
No, that is not a point of order. Honorable Pakis. Honorable Julius. Honorable Pakis, take your seat. Honorable Julius.
Honorable Pakis also said DA members are racist. And it's not the second time. He actually said on the podium last year that he's a racist. It's on record that he said, I am a racist, so what? But he's calling us now racist. Can you please rule on that? Because you made an earlier ruling about this.
Order, members. Honorable Julius, I have to go through Hansard to confirm what you are raising so that I can be able to make a proper ruling. No, that's my ruling now. I'm saying I am going to attend. No, Honorable Van Lingen. Honorable Pakis, conclude.
I can repeat what I said.
Honorable Pakis,
okay.
You can't repeat what you said because I've already made a ruling.
They believe in downward spiral of the entities, such as SAAA, Petro, SA, SAPO, Dinel, and all others, with their incensed voice calling for the privatization of ESCOM, whimsically undermining the consequences of such direction on the lives of ordinary people, informed and guided by the randomness and disruptive caprices of their liberal ideology. Chair, ESCOM is up and running to provide services to the people through mercurial and intensive leadership to make it possible for the continent and our people to access electricity and to create jobs and for economic growth in our society. Today, households with access to electricity moved from 44% to 85%. We support this budget.
Thank you. Honorable Kaula.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. Inkatha Freedom Party has always said that because our SOEs suffer from bailouts, they suffer from non-sustainability, it is high time that we see them being redeployed, if I can use your favorable terminology, to their line function departments, because with them as they are, it is waste of resources once more. Our SOEs, in fact, when the state president was making the State of the Nation address, he made a commitment that they were going to be streamlined and that they were going to be scaled down, but we have not seen this happening. Instead, we have seen more entities being created rather than entities being scaled down. Let me make one example. The SA Express and the SAA, they were created for different purposes. But what is happening now, they are working as cross purposes. The SAA and SA Express have become great competitors, whereas when they were established, they were created for different fields. So you can see that the purpose along the way gets lost. Our entities, Honorable Chairperson, also are used as cadre deployment fields. All those comrades who have failed elsewhere are redeployed to the state entities so that they also fail them. And it's high time that we see them going to their line function departments. Thank you.
Thank you. We have noted the objection of the DA. I now put vote 10. We have a division on this one? Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Let me do the counting. Well, I'm putting vote 10. For which one? Vote 9. Yeah, I want to count the against one. You raise your hands. Yes.
Yes.
So,
Against 11, the majority voted in favor. I therefore declare vote 9 agreed to. I now put vote 10. I now put vote 10. Objection? Objection and declaration. Okay, the declaration, TA. Honorable Engelbrecht. Yes, it will be okay. It's fine now.
There we are. There we are. Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Public Services Act outlines the responsibility of this department responsible for establishing norms and standards relating to integrity, ethics, conduct, and anti-corruption in the public service. Yet we lose 350 billion to fraud and corruption annually. In February 2014, our president said, the fight against corruption must be intensified. In June 2014, the Anti-Corruption Task Team and the Hawks have made notable progress in our quest to combat corruption. This work will continue in the next 5 years. Yet, just a few months later, Anwar Dramat, the head of the Hawks and chairperson of the nation's anti-corruption task team, was removed. By 2016, the word corruption was not even mentioned in the state president's state of the nation. Over the last 15 years, in addition to the anti-corruption task team, we have had various national anti-corruption summits, a national anti-corruption program, an anti-corruption coordinating committee, a national integrity system, an anti-corruption working group, a special anti-corruption unit, a national anti-corruption hotline, anti-corruption interministerial committee, and a national anti-corruption forum. This is how taxpayers' money is being spent, with continual creations of forums, committees, working units. It's no wonder that only a third of the approximate 2,000 cases a year are referred from the National Anti-Corruption Hotline and are never resolved. In addition, according to police stats, only 1/3 of public servants found guilty of corruption are ever reported to the police. With all this fraud and the small number of convictions, there are far too many crooks remaining in the system, and they all need to be blacklisted. The minister recently replied the following: there is currently no measure applied in the public sector to estimate financial losses as a result of corruption. With the above, Mr. Chair, I ask, how can South Africans support a budget when taxpayers' money is used without proper vigilance and accountability? How can South Africans support a budget when the department's mandate to investigate anti-corruption in the public service is not being carried out? Mr. Chair, for the sake of our residents, the DA cannot support this budget.
Thank you. Any party to do the declaration? Honorable ANC, Honorable Madopole.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. As ANC, we support this budget as we seek to decisively build national democratic society with sustained programs of government. The DPSA is key in delivering those programs. The character of the NDR mainly seeks to abolish sources of social conflict. Against this backdrop, towards building developmental state, which seeks to build capacity with skilled public servants who are efficient, effective, public-centered people who are caring and patriotic. And in order for DPSA to do that, it seeks to promote ethical behavior of the public servants, has put programs in place and shown, and I'm surprised then the honorable member is raising the issue of corruption and that, because in the select committee, it was presented to us the programs that are there in the APP in this current budget, the budget that we're planning to now to approve it and support it, going to deal decisively with the issue of corruptions and discipline within the public servant. And the issue of the IT system that will be there also to be able to easily track and also to clean up the system of PERSAL, of the department. So the issue of forums and training is ongoing programs of building skills and the capacity of the public servants. We want to be also to be seen as a first choice of employer of us in government, so that when you want to go and seek employment, you choose government, because this is what we want to build as be able to developmental state. And since that we are able to seek that and be able to build this developmental state. We do understand that we do have some challenges and currently, but as ANC government, we have programs and plans in place. We are not come here in the House with inane statement. Those statements are just ensuring that it's in electioneering statements to be able to ensure that when we go out there, be able to say that they want to mislead the public. But we know that when we move out here, our public will be vested sure and assured that the public servants that we want to build are caring and the patriotic public servants. Therefore, this, as ANC, we support the budget.
Thank you. Then, the division? We're dealing with 10. We vote 10. Note the objection.
Declaration and objection.
Okay, I note the objection. I now put vote 11. Any objection? I note the objection of the TA and the declaration. Eleven what? Those that are in favor, thank you. No, done. They said 11. In favor, 29. Against, 11. Abstaining. Eh? It's 10. Against, it's 10. Abstaining, it's 0. The majority have voted in favor. I declared vote 10 as agreed to. I now put vote 11. Any objections?
We object and we divide and we'd like to make a declaration, sir.
Okay. We note the objection of the, let me see the numbers. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Let's have the declarations from the DA. Honorable.
Honorable Chairperson, asset management has always been a headache for the department, and there are still severe shortfalls within this program and the system. If the property GPS description is not in the middle of the sea, as many as 1,200 properties are allegedly untraceable and cannot be linked to the global information system for lack of cadastral information. Rectifying this will take ages. Maintenance of the properties is behind schedule and due to poor management, losing its value and for properties rather than to gain value when they're maintained. Asset management is the foremost portfolio in the department, and it must manage the land and immovable assets in a profitable manner. This department is the custodian of all state properties, which has enormous responsibilities and accountability. According to a question reply in Parliament, the department acknowledged that 1,289 properties were occupied unlawfully, which raises concerns on the ability to manage the properties effectively. In KZN, there are 539 illegal occupations, and in Gauteng, 139. At the bottom of the list, we have Limpopo and the Free State with 32 and 26 respectively. Well, maybe they manage things better in the Free State. It is clear that the state's properties are not under proper management and control. When we get to the EPWP program, we are absolutely convinced that there is no control and that the several departments working with the Public Works Department are abusing the funds given to them to create jobs and to transfer skills. Honourable Chairperson, it is our job to see that public funds are being spent for the purpose it is granted. Programs where job opportunities are offered transparently and on a fair basis, and where one's political association is not used to punish where the skills are transferred. We believe the goals of the program as intended, we do that in the Western Cape, and we do it very effectively. And if you want to argue the point, if it works so well in the Western Cape, why can it not happen in the other 8 provinces? So, Chairperson, we have proposed an amendment to the Appropriations Bill to increase the appropriation for Vote 11 Public Works by 1.2 billion to provide approximately 180,000 more work opportunities in the 2016-17 financial year. But this was rejected by the ANC. The fact that the unemployment rate in the Western Cape is only 19% in relation to the 26 average in the country, and the only 12% in the DA-led Midvaal municipality, shows that proper management can turn declining economies round. Where we govern, that is the Democratic Alliance, we open opportunities for a dignified life of pride and access to a vibrant economy. I move.
Thank you. Any other party? ANC, Honorable Ntebe.
Show us his paper.
No, Chair. I think we must start by clarifying our dear friends that the Department of Public Works is on record on several occasions, declaring here in this House that the asset register is sitting at 99.5% towards conclusion. And nobody has disputed that fact. In fact, we have on several occasions applauded the department on such a good work. This, we know, all of us, that the asset register will be able to enable the department to run an efficient department of asset property management in a manner that is going to be able to make sure that properties are not rented out by the departments when the Department of Public Works is there. Issues of maintenance are sitting top on the agenda of the budget vote as presented in this House. And these we should be able to applaud. The state properties, we are beginning to see influx of departments of this particular state renting apartments from the Department of Public Works that are run professionally, that are having all the issues that are needed by the departments, and we think that we are moving in the right direction. EPWP is a program that our dear friends sitting in this House started rejecting it. When it started creating jobs, they want to appreciate it and claim it as their own. And we want to remind them, that when we brought EPWP, they kicked it away, just like they are kicking away the budget vote that we want to agree with today. You can't talk about skills transfer, Chair, when you are a party that deals and does not want to appreciate affirmative action as a necessity to skills transfer, that deals with all other issues that are going to make sure that we impart skills unto the people that we need to do. They are now standing up today and saying they are proposing an additional 1.2 billion to the same department that they started by saying is not functional. So you want to throw money into a department that is not working. What is that? So we want to stand up here, Chair, and agree that as the ANC, we think that this department has gone away from the stability phase. We are now in a process where the department is running efficiently, and we think that we must agree as the ANC that the department is in the right path. We support that. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. IFP, Honorable Kaula.
Yeah, thanks, Chair. The IFP wishes to say the following in respect of the Department of Public Works. Firstly, there seemingly is no transformation in the entities of public works. CBE and CIDB, they have continued to underrate the construction companies that belong to the previously disadvantaged. These companies still are rated as grade 1 and only as grade 2. Now, this disadvantages those companies because they can only do the small jobs of the government. All the big jobs are done by other companies which do not belong to the previously disadvantaged people. Secondly, Honorable Chairperson, is the EPWP, which has continued to be used for political point scoring down there. The people who are employed in these programs have to produce membership cards of certain political parties. If you belong to that political party, you get employed. If you do not belong to that political party, you do not get employed. Honorable Chairperson, that is a fact. Now, for as long as EPWP is used as a political tool, it is not benefiting the people of South Africa, but it is benefiting people of a particular political party. Chairperson, can I be protected?
Order, members.
Chairperson, honestly, the Department of Public Works has failed South Africa with the issue of the asset register. It is still in shambles. It is one thing reporting it here as being work in progress, but it is something else out there. This asset register is still in shambles. Lastly, Honorable Chairperson, public works in the provinces is failing government. It is failing the provinces to the extent that some of the departments have decided to establish their own construction units in their own departments because public works is failing them. So public works has to be sorted out. I thank you.
Thank you. We now come to the voting. Those that are voting in favor, thank you. Those that are voting against,
House Chairperson, sorry, on a point of order, I rise in terms of Rule 66A again. Honourable Kaula has voted in favour of this vote. Well, of course, okay, well, with that declaration, if he's in favour of it, I'm not going to object.
no, that is not a point of order. Okay, let me get your point of order.
Honorable Chairperson, the Honorable Mikala case is not the IFP whip here.
No.
If there is anything that he would like to whip, he must whip the DA and not the IFP.
Thank you. Against, those that are voting against? Let me see the hands against. You raise your hand. The results of the division are as follows. In favor, 29, against 10, abstaining, 0. The majority have voted in favor. I therefore declare vote 11 as agreed to. We now come, I now put vote 12. Vote 12. No objections. No division. I now put vote 13. Honorable Labuskagan,
Object and declare.
we note the objection. Objection? We note the objection of the DA. It's only the objection
Declaration.
and the declaration. Okay. DA?
Mr. Chair, thank you. With 8.9 million unemployed and thousands of women living in extreme poverty, this government should be ashamed that more than 8.6 million has been spent on luxury vehicles for the wives of President Zuma over the past 4 financial years. These include, you'll be shocked, 4 Range Rovers, 2 Land Rover Discoveries, 2 Audi Q7s, 3 Audi A6 sedans. Just these were 634,000 Rand each. How can this government justify spending millions of rands on vehicles for only 4 women when so many South African women live without water and basic necessities? The DA supports the mandate. Can I have protection, Mr. Chair?
Honorable members, honorable members, honorable Dlamini. Honorable members, let us not drown Honorable Engelbrecht. Continue, Honorable Engelbrecht.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The DA supports the mandate. I need to make it clear, the DA supports the mandate of the Department of Women in the Presidency in securing women's rights, gender equality, and the development of women's socio-economic opportunities. But we cannot support a budget that will not allocate resources effectively. This department has an operating budget of 127 million, which sounds good, but 70% of this budget is spent on administration costs. Given the dire state of the economy, the high state of unemployment, and the devastating increase in food prices, the DA feels that the budget should be used more effectively to expand grassroots programs to vulnerable women. South African women deserve a better deal than the ANC is prepared to give them. The budget must be utilized to improve the lives of thousands of gogos, abused women, and raped young women. Our women deserve a budget to improve their quality of lives and protect their rights, not a budget that mainly goes towards administration costs. This is not what we as women deserve, and the DA will not support this budget.
Thank you. IFP. No declaration. ANC. Honorable Manopule.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Let me clarify this. What is the role of this Department of Women? As a champion of advancement of women's socio-economic empowerment and the promotion of gender equalities through mainstreaming, advocacy, and monitoring, and also particularly implementation of policies. Those policies which are by the ANC, driven by the ANC, employment equity, the Employment Equity, Promotion of Equal and Prevention of Unfair Discrimination Act. As we accelerate and ensuring that the employment equity has been implemented, the Act of Equal Pay and Equal Work, which was adopted, the DA rejected it. And that employment equity and of the Act of Equal Pay and Equal Work, it seeks to address, to ensure that the women who are of the poorest, the farm workers, the ones who are the retailers, are the ones who, because of most of the time, are be disadvantaged. And those who are dealing also at construction, at mine sector, this one of the equal pay and equal works needs to address that. And then DAs has rejected that act and that policies. Just want to show and expose the DA what kind of the organization is. As ANC, we are leading
Honorable Manopole.
with regards to
Honorable
addressing the
Manopole.
gender equality.
Honorable Manopole, can you take your seat? Honorable Julius, why are you standing?
Thank you, House Chair. Just on a point of order, the Honorable Chief Whip that's supposed to whip us is actually walking right, and a person is talking there, right in front of your eyes there, Chairperson, breaking the rules that the Chief Whip is supposed to protect. How about, can you rule on that, man? Please, sorry.
Thank you, Chair. This
Honorable
implement
Manopole.
the equal pay.
Honorable
equal-
Manopole.
Sit down. Sit, do la fat.
Where is the fifth wife?
Honorable Chief Whip. Honorable Chief Whip. Honorable Chief Whip.
She's going back. She's doing exactly what they're talking about.
Honorable, let me address it. Honorable Julius, you are correct. Honorable members can't just pass here, so I sustain your point of order. Honorable Manopole, conclude. Oh, sorry,
As
Honorable
ANC,
Manopole.
as we
Sorry,
seek to address
Honorable
the
Manopole. Sorry, Honorable Faber.
Chairperson, just on a point of clarity, I would like to know if the honourable member perhaps got a Land Rover as a present because she's a great defender.
No, Honorable Faber, that is not a point of order. Honorable Manopole.
As ANC, as we seek to address the discrimination against between men and women, the Act of Equal Work and Equal Pay that seeks to address, and ANC has led by ensuring that we have do it within our structures, and we have said to the other organization, challenge them to follow suit, where we're ensuring that the 50-50% is being addressed. The issue of the departments, the work of the department is not to ensure that they employ or address this. They are ensuring that there's a mainstreaming, and also advocacy and monitoring of the policies of government to empower women. The small business women department have to ensure that there are co-ops of women. And as we know that the co-ops of women are supported by the Department of Small Business, women's banks, be ensured. So the DA does not really understand the work and the role of the Department of Women to ensure it's just mainstreaming and advocacy and monitoring. As ANC, we support the Department of Women to be able to continue ensuring that the policies of government and ensuring that they challenge the private sector to be able to ensure that they address the socio-economic issues of women, to be able to empower women and be able to move South Africa forward. As ANC, we support this budget, Chair.
There is no call for division. Okay. I now put vote 14. We're now on vote 14. Okay, thank you. So let's deal with the declaration. Honorable from TA, Honorable Isaac. Oh, I thought you were doing the declaration. Honorable Hatting.
Thank you, Honourable Chair. The release of the investigation into the allegations of the selling of posts of educators by members of teachers' unions, specifically SATU, better known as the so-called Jobs for Cash investigation, gave a glimpse into the extent of the South African education crisis. A finding in the report blatantly states that the Department of Education, and I'm quoting, is effectively in control of 1/3 of South Africa's provinces in education. That where education officials work strictly according to regulated procedures
and where the managerial and administrative staff members are persistent and consistent in carrying out their duties in accordance with a coherent system, teachers' unions are held in check, and procedures and decisions are led by the department. Now, this is applicable to the Western Cape, the Northern Cape, and the Free State. Where authority is weak, insufficient, and dilatory, teacher unions, that is SATU, move into the available spaces and determine policies, priorities, and appointments, achieving undue influence over matters which primarily should have been the responsibility of the department. Now, Chair, the reality is that the Minister and the department should take the responsibility for the capture of the education system in 6 provinces by SATU. The reality is that the department and the Minister is only in control of 1/3 of the provinces, and yet the Minister comes here and wants 100% of the budget. The budget does not address a turnaround plan to reclaim the 6 provincial education departments captured by SATU. The DA does not support the acceptance of this budget.
Thank you. Any other party? IFP? Okay. ANC, Honorable Zwane.
Thank you, Chairperson. At the gala dinner of Africa Day yesterday, the President actually made mention of the fact that African countries should keep focused on investing in education and skills development with a view to attaining the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations, but also move faster towards addressing the issues relating to poverty, unemployment, and disease. In keeping with the spirit, the South African government, led by the ANC, has put education as apex priority of government, and to that extent, the major chunk of the budget of the country goes to education. We are passing the budget with a view to charging education, basic education, to go out and deliver quality education. How are we going to go about doing that? And let me just inform the people of South Africa that we are sitting here passing the budget for the Department of Education, and the DA is opposed to anything that the Department of Basic Education is going to go out and do for South Africans. One, we want to use the budget to capacitate the teachers, the school management teams, to do better management of schools with a view to improving the quality of education that we dispense, with a view to improving dispensing the curriculum. That is what we want to use the budget for. We want to use the budget to ensure that we give better training and develop teachers that are responsible for teaching mathematics, science, and technology, and all related subjects. And EDA, iti inkomo ingazala umuntu, ngeke kwenzeke lokho. We are here passing a budget where we want to go and deliver schools, build new schools, eradicate math structures, deliver a school per week as we are doing in the Eastern Cape. EDA ke yona ithi ilanga lingawe liqoshwe zinkukhu, ngeke kwenzeke lokho. We want to go out and ensure that we deliver the learner-teacher support material in schools where there are shortages, with a view to ensuring that teachers have got materials and learners have got material. EDA yona ke ithi ke lingawa liqoshwe zinkukhu, ungabona behle sibungu, ngeke kwenzeke lokho. We want to go and ensure that those learners that do not have scholar transport have scholar transport. They don't walk long distances to schools and they don't get tired.
iDA ithi nobona behle sibungu ngeke kwenzeke lokho. We want to go out and ensure that in all the schools there is nutrition. There is nutrition. Ingane zomuntu omnyama ziyadla aziye esikoleni zilambe kuze kushone ilanga singadlile. iDA ithi ke ngeke nikubone lokho. Sifuna ukudilivela ingane ezikhubazekile imaterial especial for learners with disability like braille and other special equipment. iDA ithi hlalane ninjalo. Akudokwe eligayini thina le.
Honorable Zwane, can you please take your seat? Honorable Pugwane.
Thank you, Chairperson. On a point of order, the Honorable Zwane is misleading this House. Honorable Zwane was with me on oversight, Efunde Kuhle, KZN, where the infrastructure is at its lowest degree. She knows exactly, Efunde Kuhle, what we saw. The infrastructure is in an appalling state, yet she is misleading the House and telling lies here.
Honorable, take your seat.
Tell no lies, Honorable, and claim no easy victory. Fundo Kuhle in KZN, where the principal is Mkunu, the vice principal is Mkunu, the chairperson and the governing body Mkunu, everything is appalling there.
Honorable Pambo, can you take your seat? You know that is not a point of order. You can't respond. We had an opportunity to do a declaration as a democratic alliance. Let's come to the. Your time has expired, Honorable Zwane.
Angithokoze sihlalo. Nakuba iqembu lenkatha yenkululeko lisekela uhlahlomali lomnyango wezemfundo yamabanga aphansi, kodwa ke sihlalo sikwenza lokho sithi umnyango uqaphele ulungise lezi zinto ezilandelayo. Okokuqala nje imfundo yethu izingane zethu ayikakabi sezingeni lokuthi sithi iyafana zonke izindawo. Labo abadla izambane likaPondo basakwazi ukuthi bahambise izingane zabo ezikoleni zezinga eliphezulu bese kuthi abantu abantulayo ezabe izingane zifunde kulezi izikole ezibulawayo. Sifuna ukuqala ngokusho siyiqembu lenkatha ukuthi siyabonga kuNgqongqoshe ngokuthi wasungula ikhomishana le ebeyiphenya ngomkhonyovu okudayiswa kwezikhala zothisha ngoba iqembu lenkatha kade lelibelesele ngokuthi kunomkhubo owenzekayo la kawuphenye. Siyakubonga ukuthi uNgqongqoshe benesibindi sokwenza lokho nokuthi akhulule umbiko. Kodwa ke isibindi esesidinga kuyena manje ukuthi akathathele izinyathelo bonke laba abakhonjwa ireport ngenjumbane ukuthi bathinteka ekudayisweni kwezikhala zokufundisa ezikoleni. Enye into esisho sihlalo ukuthi ukuphathwa kwemfundo lapho la elimala khona ezikoleni la kufakwe khona comrade abangafakwa ngokuthi banama skills kodwa bafakwa ngokuthi bazana nobani bakhokhele bani ngoba sihlalo it is not about being rural and urban. Lapho kwaZulu Natal zikhona izikole ezisemalokishini, zikhona izikole ezisemakhaya ezenza kahle. Kodwa bayaqhubeka abazali bayisingane zabe endaweni ezikude bezisubjecte engozini zithuthwa omalume ngamavan ngenxa yokuthi belandela imfundo esezingene elingcono. Manje ke sihlalo indaba yokuthi imfundo imanage kanjani izofanele umnyango uyisukumele ukuze kuphucule izinga lemfundo. Lastly, what I want to say is centralizing procurement of LTSM has subjected the department to unprecedented levels of corruption. Because what is happening is those schools which are forced to order centrally, they get materials which are not enough. And they complain that in addition to what they have ordered, they still have to pay and order more because these tenders are given to friends who do not deliver everything that is required by the school, and schools have to suffer by ordering more of what was not delivered by people who are not competent enough to deliver materials. akulungiswe sihlalo emfundweni kuyafuneka ke futhi okugcina ukuba izikole ziphuculwe zibe sezingeni elifanele ukuze abazali bangazitholi bethatha izingane zabo bezisezikoleni ezikude ngenxa ukuthi izinsiza kule izikole eziseduze nabo kazikho ezingeni elifanele. Ngiyathokoza sihlalo ohloniphekile.
Thank you. We now come to the voting part. Those in favor, show of hand. Those that are abstaining. Those that are against. The results of the division are as follows. In favor, 29. Against, 9. Abstaining, 0. The majority have voted in favor. I therefore declare vote 14 as agreed to. I now put vote 15. Any objection? See the numbers?
Yes.
Okay. Declaration. Democratic Alliance, Honorable.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Now, before I start, I can only wonder if some of the members have also paid to be here. Honorable Chair, the government repeatedly congratulated itself with the growing numbers of university students, which have increased with more than 150% during the past two decades, from 400,000 to more than 1 million. However, the government remains silent on the significant decrease in real funding of universities per student from 20,000 per year down to 15,000 per year. Now, this happened gradually over the years. The majority of the 600,000 new students entering the system have come from poor backgrounds, desperately in need of funding in a declining economy, with NSFAS unable to live up to the task to support them. We have proposed an amendment to the Appropriations Bill to increase the appropriation of higher education by 2.73 billion. Now that's a lot of money, a whole lot of Nkandlas put together, to provide more support for poor students in 2016-2017. TVET institutions where the personnel are now also employed by the department, there are institutional failures of endemic proportions. At present, despite a massive investment in those institutions and students, it can only reach a 12% throughput figure, 12%. 1 in every 8 actually succeeds. If any private tertiary institution had similar results, that institution would have been summarily closed down by the same department. The DA unequivocally rejects this budget.
IFP, Honorable Kaula. Okay. Any other party? ANC, Honorable.
No, thank you very much,
Honorable
Honorable House
Stock.
Chairperson. In line with the ANC resolution of the 53rd National Conference in Mangaung, it is through that resolution that today education at the tertiary institution level, it can cover for accommodation, tuition, and books for young people. Now, there's one other thing which keeps on coming from the opposition. There's an obsession about SADU, this and that, when it relates to education, whether it's basic or higher education. And we keep on making the point that education today is fashionable and it's actually free and compulsory because of the ANC-led government and through the resolutions of the ANC. Now, Honorable Harding comes here and then he makes a declaration and tells this House by misleading it, by saying that 7 out of 7 out of the 8 ANC provinces are actually being found guilty or implicated in this jobs for cash scandal. Now, I want to clarify him. I want to challenge him. I want to challenge the honorable member.
Honorable Stock.
He must go back.
Honorable Stock. Sorry, Honorable Hatting.
Honorable Chair,
Honorable Stock, can you take a seat?
jy moet luister, jy moet leer. Honorable Chair, we are busy with higher education. The honorable member is now going back to a previous debate.
Honorable
on basic
Hatting,
education.
Honorable Hatting, no, you can't do that. Can you take your seat? Can you take your seat? Continue, that is not a point of order. Continue, Honorable Stock.
What I want to clarify the honorable member Hatting on is that he's misleading the House by giving incorrect figures. He must go back. There's a report that was released. There's a ministerial task team that was established by the minister to deal with this issue, to investigate the issue of jobs for cash. Now, that report was released on Tuesday by Professor John Volmink. He must go and check that report and come with the correct figures here. He must not come as mislead the House. Honorable Chair, on behalf of the ANC, would also like to welcome the more than 7 billion that was allocated in this year's budget vote for higher education and training, which will also improve and deal away with the issue of the deficit from the Fees Must Fall campaign, which will also be able to increase the number of students that are going to benefit from this initiative of making education fashionable and ensuring that young people of this country are actually benefiting. So it's wrong for the DA to come here and reject such an important initiative from the ANC, which are actually going to make sure that young people at the tertiary level, they get access to education. I thank you very much, Honorable Chair. The ANC supports the budget.
Thank you. Now come to the voting. Those in favor? Thank you. Those that are voting against? Thank you. Abstaining? The results of the division are as follows. In favor, 28. Against, 11. Abstaining, 0. The majority have voted in favor. I therefore declare vote 14 as agreed to. Hello?
Okay, it's 10.
Hello?
It's 10, not 11.
Thank you. 10
Chairperson-
against the
Chairperson,
majority.
but I want to ask you, can we not all break for a comfort break for 10 or 15 minutes? And then we come back? Because we've now been busy for 2.5 hours. We've got another 2.5 hours going. We're sort of in the middle.
Yeah, no, I'll do that, but let's consider vote 16. I now put vote 16. Any objection? No objections in vote 16?
But we want to do a declaration.
Or you just want to do a declaration? Democratic Alliance, Honorable Mpambo Sipukwane.
Enkosi mhlali ngaphambili. Mhlali ngaphambili singumbutho we-Democratic Alliance. Siyakholelwa ekubeni ukuba impilo yomntwana waseMzantsi Afrika ibe impilo eyiyo ukuze abantwana bakwazi into yokuba ezikolweni benze ngakuko. Honorable Chairperson, the health budget should respond and comply with the health needs of our citizens who are plagued with the burden of diseases. In this program, 740 million was added to strengthen tuberculosis program. 1 billion was set aside for antiretroviral treatment. 4.5 billion was set aside for revitalizing health facilities. For the Northern Cape, Free State, Western Cape, and Northwest, more funds were set aside for the new substance abuse treatment centers, and for us, that is a right way to go. We do support the budget. Siyayixhasa nihlale ngaphambili le budget as it is rational. However, we would like the minister to focus on the following. This is imperative to bring good life into each and every family of a South African. For the past 3 years, there has been no hot water in Mangaung clinics and hospitals. Clinics and hospitals are desperately understaffed. This is a cause for concern. To an extent, we're losing some of the other nurses to Dubai and Saudi Arabia. The medical waste system in the Free State, Gauteng and Limpopo are dysfunctional. This is based on a visit 2 weeks back to these institutions. In the Free State and KwaZulu-Natal, the state life support medical equipment has not been serviced for the past 2 years. You go to Khayelitsha and see the best equipment that makes people come over to the Western Cape for better health services. Andile Makwetu should be investigated by the Auditor General, and this should include medical waste governance in the provincial status. The NHI also is a cause for concern. It is unaffordable and does not deal with the real problems of health sufficiently. On behalf of the Democratic Alliance Chairperson, we do support this budget. Siyayixhasa ngoba sikholelwa into yokuba isizwe esisiso sisizwe esiphilileyo esinamayeza nepilisi zokunyanga abantu abagulayo. Enkosi.
Thank you. Any other political party? Thank you. I now put vote 17.
Object and declare.
Object and declare. Come again. We're now dealing with vote 17. We're done with vote 16. Honorable, there are declarations? Let's have the declarations.
Okokuqala, mhlali ngaphambili, singumbutho we-Democratic Alliance, asiyixhasi le budget. Ndiza kunika isizathu. Sikholelwa ekubeni i-social grant zibhekelisa, zibalekise inxele likakhesekile kumakhaya ngamakhaya eMzantsi Afrika. Uqoqosho lweli mhlali ngaphambili lunyuka mihla yonke. Izolo nanamhlanje nangomso luyanyuka. Ixabiso lesonka linyuka qho. The DA has proposed a 2.2 billion to social grants so that 17 million beneficiaries in South Africa are able to feed their families. The ANC simply said no to this. With almost 9 million unemployed people in South Africa who do not have, who are 100% benefiting from this social grant, and the ANC simply says no to the increase that we as the DA feeling the 350 is not enough, the 1,500 is not enough. It is very scary.
Just read your news.
Many are dependent on family members who receive these grants. These vulnerable people are clearly not prioritized by the ANC government. The ever-increasing food prices and struggling economy coupled with the drought. You remember in Dogba Imbalela, you can imagine that hit our provinces and our people very hard. We had made further proposed amendments to the Appropriation Bill with regard to this to be able to address the current crisis that we are in. Sadly, this has fallen on deaf ears on the ANC. The DA puts social grant beneficiaries first, not the party first. The money should be directed in the right place. How sad of the ANC to be so short-sighted, mhlali ngaphambili. Economy rises every day. Due to these reasons, mhlali ngaphambili, DA cannot support this budget.
Thank you. Any party? Honorable Dlamini.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. I've never seen a confused party like EDA. They are talking only about increment, which ANC did not consider. The ANC is supporting all the budget that is given to people who are benefiting from social services. EDA is saying, by saying no to this budget, abangatholi lutho. They are saying, labantwana abanganabazali, abanganaintandane, abangadli, abahambe baye estradini bohlala khona, aba-abuswe ngabantu, because i-department ayinganikwa mali, that is what they are saying. Abanganikwa ngisho isenti, so
Honorable Dlamini. Honorable Mpombo Sipukwane.
Honorable Chairperson, Honorable Dlamini must not mislead South African. We said the budget should be increased 2.2 billion. That's what we said. Increase 350 to more money, 1,500 to more money, so that they can afford the economy.
Order, members, allow me to make a ruling. I don't need assistance. I know how to deal with it. Honorable Mpambo, let me address you. This is a final warning for what we are doing. It's not for the first time. You stand up and debate while you have an opportunity to do a declaration. And I've warned you that refrain from debating because you had an opportunity to do a declaration. It's the last warning to stand up and respond to members. Continue, Honorable Dlamini. No, there was Honorable Mohapi before I can deal with you. No, there was Honorable Mohapi. I wanted to make a ruling first.
Chairperson, you've made a ruling. I just want to make a humble plea. Let us not be excited. We are dealing with bread and butter issues that are affecting poor people out there. You have a ruling, Chairperson, that you are making, and Honorable Mpambo, she's continuously overlooking your ruling. It's unacceptable.
No, I've made a ruling about that one. Honorable Lond.
Chairperson, I just want to get clarity. That warning that you just gave, does it apply to everybody in the House or only to the one?
No,
member?
I'm addressing a point. Honorable members, I don't need your assistance. It's asking a simple question. Let me address you, Honorable Lond. It specifically referred to Honorable Mpambo Sipukwane. He's the only one that has done it. No any other member has done it. Honorable Van Lingen.
Honorable Chairperson, in terms of what I want to ask you, I'm not sure whether it must be privilege or whether it must be for clarity. But what Honorable, what's his name, has just said, Dlamini just said,
yeah,
is not the truth of the DA policy.
Oh,
So
no,
must
Honorable Van Lingen.
No, wait. Do you want us to bring a substantive motion to object to that?
Yes.
So you want us to bring a substantive motion?
Yes. I'm happy we have even concluded.
So, all right, so you're saying we must now look at the Hansard, it's now our turn.
No, I'm happy we have concluded, very correct, that if we are challenging it, you can do the substantive motion. Honorable Labuskachen.
Honorable Chair, when we do a declaration in the House in this process, it's not part of the voting. It's a speech being done in the House. There's no rule in this book that says that no one can rise on a point of order on a speech. In fact, we can rise on a point of order even during division on rule number 67, points of order during
members.
division. So if we can rise on a point of order during a division, what is a declaration other than a 3-minute speech? And if you can't rise on a point of order in a 3-minute speech, then, no, Chair, with all due respect, what is a declaration?
Yeah.
There's no point of order on a declaration that says that you cannot raise on a point of order.
Your point of order, Honorable Labuskachen, in this case, it's irrelevant. I never said there's no point of order. I said what is wrong is for an honorable member. When Honorable Labuschagen is on the floor doing a declaration, it will be wrong for any member to rise and say a point of order and challenge and debate with you. That's my ruling. Not that there's no point of order. If it's a point of order, it should be a point of order, not a debate. You can't use a point of order to challenge a member in debate. That's what I said. Honorable Dlamini, can you continue?
Thank you very much. EDA, Honorable Chair, by rejecting the budget, is saying all the pensioners, especially those who are staying in Guma Old Age Home because they're using that money, must be thrown out because they will be not getting their pensioners. They are also saying all the home-based care, those people who are benefiting from the home-based care, should not receive stipends. So, Honorable Chair, the ANC is a caring organization. We support this budget because to this end, the department and its partners has made significant strides in improving the quality of its services to the public. This includes laudable progress has been made on broadening access to social assistance, early childhood development services, victim empowerment, food security, which the DA is saying people must not get, and to older persons and people with disability. That is what they're saying. Those people who cannot assist themselves, EDA is saying they must not get anything in this year. So in order to continue its services to the most marginalized people of this country, the budget allocated to the
Honorable
department.
Dlamini, sorry. Honorable Engelbrecht.
Mr. Chair, thank you. The honourable member is misleading this House. The DA was the only party that asked for social grants to be increased, and the ANC rejected it. So
Honourable-
the
Honourable
ANC
Engelbrecht,
does not want...
Let me address you. Can you take your seat? Not so long ago, I addressed the very same thing that you are doing that was done by Honorable Mpambo's Pukwan. That as parties are having an opportunity to do a declaration, it doesn't necessarily mean that if you are doing a declaration and any other member is opposing you, it's wrong. It will be wrong for any member to disturb you. You must be allowed to do a declaration. If it's a point of order, it will be a point of order. What we are raising now is not a point of order. Continue, Honorable Dlamini. Honorable Dlamini, sorry. Honorable.
On a point of order, rule number 46,
Yes.
is it parliamentary for the member to deliberately make a statement in this council which the member knows is false?
It's not, but to do that, to be able to prove that, that is why we have to able to have a substantive motion to make us to come to that determination.
That every time in this council, when we are going to stand up on Rule 46B, when members are deliberately making false statements, that we have to put in a substantive motion. Is that what you say? Is that your rule? Do I have this correct?
Yes.
So every time that the ANC sees that anyone and us do something else, they must make a substantive motion.
No, it's not. It's not.
Thank you. No, we will put that in writing and we will do so. Thank you.
No, order members.
Stand with that.
The rules are not applicable. Let me be very clear. The rules are not applicable to one part. They are applicable to all members of the National Council of Provinces. Even if they are going to violate your rule or any other member, the rules applied. Honorable Dlamini.
Honorable Chair, finally, EDA is saying if there are disasters where there is a need for intervention by government, those people should not be assisted. And we do understand because Bona, they are well off, they can cater for themselves.
Honourable Chair, on a point of order, the second time round, the same member is out contravening Rule 46B. She is doing a statement in the council which she knows is false.
Order, members. Order. No, I'm not entertaining any point of order. Let's go to the voting part. Oh, sorry, Honorable.
Is my time finished?
Yeah, your time is finished. Honorable Kaula.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. I'm going to be very brief, Honorable Chairperson. I want to say social protection is a very necessary intervention. But even yesterday at the NA, during the question time, a question was asked by Honorable Liesel van der Merwe, the whip of the IFP, to the Honorable Deputy President about how the social relief of South Africa is monitored. And the Deputy President made a commitment that government is going to monitor that it does not get politicized. Because as the IFP, what we are saying is the plight of the people should not be misused for political gain. Social relief, whilst welcomed, but when politicians begin to pick and choose as to how social relief is going to be utilized so that some people gain political ground, then it is wrong, because, Honorable Chairperson, hunger knows no boundaries. The plight of our people on the ground know no boundaries, and therefore social protection programs must be meant for the plight of the people and not to score political points. I'm going to expand on this, Chairperson, when I talk on my declaration on the Appropriation Bill itself. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there a division on this one? No, we're dealing with social development. Is there a division? No. It's just we're noting the objection from there is no call for a division. I now put vote 18. Any objection? Any objection? Honorable
Thank you, House Chairperson. We declare in support.
Declare and support. Okay. Let's do the declarations. Honorable Mikalakis.
Thank you, House Chairperson. Correctional services is one of the most important parts of the justice system, since it deals with the rehabilitation of criminals to a point where they can be reintegrated into society and be given a second chance to become ideal South Africans. It is an ideal far removed from the apartheid style of dealing with persons who are convicted, and it is an ideal to which every decent democracy would aspire to. However, we are still far from realizing this ideal, and 22 years into democracy, it's worrying that this has not yet been achieved. Overcrowding of prisons and corruption within the department is a great source of concern. The department continues to underspend its capital budget, and yet there is no real increase in the number of beds, whilst officials and inmates have not received decent uniforms in some areas for almost a decade, and staff members are in certain instances even forced to buy their own stationery. The biggest concern is still the great lack of sufficient resources given to the programs that are aimed at rehabilitation and social reintegration of offenders and ex-offenders, which should be the ultimate aim of this department. We again support this budget, but only hesitantly, in the hope that we will see some improvement in these areas. However, if underspending and corruption is not curbed substantially in this financial year, we will be left with no other choice in the future but to reject the budget of this department as a means to express our dissatisfaction with the manner in which it has been run up to now. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Kaula.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. The concerns raised by the IFP on this department are the following: that the department has continued to reflect lack of capacity internally. This has been shown by the department continuing to spend millions of rands on consultants, but the biggest concern is that having spent millions on consultants, there are no skills transfer that are left with the personnel of the department. Therefore, this becomes a recurring decimal, especially on the IT, which is the integral part of modernization. It has to happen, but there is no skills transfer, and the department continues to keep on spending. And again, the other concern is this recent scandal of the IT tender of 378 million, which the department wrongly awarded, irregularly awarded, where there were false declarations to a company that had no capacity, to a company that was fraught with fronting, until the Department of Finance has had to intervene and instruct the department to reverse that tender. We also are concerned about the fraudulent appointments in the department, and we are also concerned about the HR backlog in the department, and lastly, the poor HR management in the department. Thank you very much, Chairperson.
Thank you. ANC, Honorable Mhlanga.
Honorable Chairperson, on behalf of the ANC, we supported this appropriation bill due to that this budget addresses our Mangaung resolution. The following aspects are covered as per our mandate by this budget: economic development, disaster risk management, infrastructure, agriculture and food security, natural resource, meteorology and climate, health, social and human development, poverty eradication and policy dialogue. As the ANC, the above reflects the above reflect to the call made by the South African Constitution, the Bill of Rights. Chairperson, the 3 of the 4 public security objectives in the strategic indicative plan for the organ on politics, defense and security cooperation are aimed at prison and correctional service. The first objective is to promote public safety and security by dealing with prison overcrowding. 2, to promote regional coordination to deal with transfer states prisoner between states. 3, is aimed to build peacekeeping capacity in prison officers. Chair, the ANC supported this budget and will like to inform our people that they should not listen to the opposition parties who are discombobulated, who do not support this appropriation bill. It is precisely that they do not care of our offenders as human who have rights to live. And Chair,
Honorable Mhlanga, Honorable Mhlanga, sorry, take your seat. Honorable Isaac. Order, members. Honorable Isaac, why are you standing?
Chairperson, with due respect to the House, on a point of order, with your authority, could you ask the member just to repeat this combobulated, please? Because honestly, I am totally...
That is not a point of order.
But,
continue,
I don't know what
take
he's
your
saying.
seat. Continue, Honorable Mhlanga.
it is precisely that they do not
Order,
care.
members. Honorable Mhlanga. Honorable Mhlanga, sorry. Honorable Isaac, that was not a point of order. Honorable Kaula, why are you standing?
Point of order, Chairperson. I just want to find out if we have another Honorable Pakis in the House.
That is not a point of order. Continue, Honorable Mhlanga.
Chair, it is precisely that they do not care of our offenders as human beings who have rights to live. And Chair, our people must know that the opposition parties do not support all the budgets. It means that they do not want service delivery to happen. Chair, the society should
Honorable
know
Mhlanga.
that.
Honorable, no, Honorable Fanling, take your seat. No, I'm taking Honorable Smith.
Thank you, Honorable House Chair. The Honorable Member is very clearly misleading the House and the public by saying that the opposition is opposing all of the budgets, because that is not true. Yes.
No. Honorable members, order. Let me sustain the point of order. Honorable Smith is correct. The recent one, the vote 14, when we're dealing with vote, we've got a number of votes where the opposition, there's no need for them to even bring a substantive motion. Your point of order is correct. Continue, Honorable Mhlanga.
They want to make sure that this glorious movement do not deliver to our people as committed. As the ANC, we support this.
Honorable Mhlanga, Honorable Kalakis.
Thank you, House Chairperson. House Chairperson, you have now clearly ruled against the honourable member. May I ask that you request him to withdraw his false statement, please?
No. Order, let me assist. No, let me assist. If Honorable Mhlanga referred to DA, you have to refer to withdraw that part. But if you refer to opposition, but you can't refer to it DA, withdraw that part. Can you withdraw that part?
Thanks, Chair. I never.
Can you withdraw? Can you withdraw the part of referring to DA?
No, I said oppositions parties, Chair, not DA. Opposition parties in this process, not DA. Chair, I hope the hands will assist you. I said opposition parties.
Opposition parties?
Yeah, who are discombobulated.
Okay.
Yes.
Chair. Honorable Mhlanga. Sorry. Honorable Mikalakis.
Thank you, Honourable House Chairperson. Honourable House Chairperson, I appeal to you to be fair in this regard. Even if the Honourable Member said instead of the DA, the opposition, he's still incorrect in that the opposition does not vote against every single. If he listened during my declaration, he would have known that we support this budget vote of the correctional services. Even if he said the opposition as a whole, he's being unfair towards the opposition, and similarly, he's misleading the House.
Honorable Mhlanga, withdraw that part.
Chair, I will withdraw, but I will insist to say most of the budget are being rejected. The ANC supported this budget. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Let's come to the... Is there a division, Honorable Oskakhe? No division. Okay. I now put vote 19. Any objection?
Declare and divide.
It's an objection.
Check, declare and divide.
Okay, declare and division. Thank you. A declaration.
Thank you, Honourable. Thank you, Honourable House Chairperson. The Minister of Defence has admitted herself that with this budget being what it is, we will be shutting down the South African National Defence Force sooner than she expected, and that is soon. Our ocean economy is being exploited by Chinese ships without us having sufficient patrol power. Our army is under-resourced, and our Air Force has become nothing other than a flight club, despite the excellent dedication of many soldiers. All of this whilst VVIP aircraft at a cost of billions of rands to the taxpayer are being bought to transport the president. And if this is not enough, instead of building up flight hours for the training of pilots, flight hours are being spent to illegally smuggle friends of the minister into the country with false documents, and then she has the audacity to call former pilots of the National Defence Force criminals in this House. This is ironic. I wonder who the criminal is. The Defence Review is an excellent model, but will remain only an ideal under the Minister and with this budget. As it currently stands...
Honourable Mikalakis, sorry, let me address Honourable Chief Whip. Why are you standing?
Chairperson, criminals in this House. Criminals in this House, Chairperson. Parliamentary.
Honourable House Chairperson, if I may address you on that point of order, I did not refer to a specific member.
Did you refer to members of the House as criminals?
No, Honourable House Chairperson.
I'll be happy if you can repeat that part so that we can get it correct.
Very well.
Yes.
Honourable House Chairperson, I said that then the Minister,
Order, members.
Give me a chance. Perhaps, Honourable House Chairperson, if the ANC would listen for once, they wouldn't need to get up on points of order.
Honourable Mikalakis, sorry. Honourable members, let us not drown him. I want to make a ruling. I've requested him to assist and repeat that part. Continue, Honourable Mikalakis.
Thank you, Honourable House Chairperson. I said And if it's not enough, instead of building up flight hours for the training of pilots, flight hours are being spent to illegally smuggle friends of the minister into the country with false documents, and then she has the audacity to call former pilots of the South African Air Force criminals in this house. She did that, and she did not ask for to be pardoned. She falsely accused former SA Air Force members of being criminals and stealing aircraft. I continued, House Chairperson, by saying, this is
Honorable
ironic.
Mikalakis, sorry, can you take your seat? Honorable Chief Whip.
Chairperson, if it is a quotation, the other day one member in this house said, we must not plagiarize. So if it is a quotation, let it be acknowledged as such. If it is not a quotation, then it refers to this house.
No, no, order, members. No. Can you take your seat? Can you take your seat? Let me make a ruling.
Honorable.
Can you take your seat, Honorable Julius? What you read, you were referring to the minister referring to former pilots of SAA, yes. So you can continue, Honorable Mikalakis.
Thank you, Honorable House Chairperson.
Honorable Hatim.
Honorable Chair, you have castigated my friend for standing up and making a debate. Why didn't you do the same with the Chief Whip?
No, the order, members. The Honorable Hatim, the Honorable Chief Whip raised a point of order. That is why I even requested Honorable Mikalakis to repeat, and after he repeated, that is why I'm making a ruling that is not out of order. Let him continue with his speech. Can you take your seat?
In a debate, it wasn't a point of order.
That is why I'm saying, Honorable Mikalakis, it's in order. Continue, Honorable Mikalakis.
Thank you, Honorable House Chairperson. Perhaps the Chief Whip should, for a while, park her points of order. Our country deserves to be protected, and we owe the servicemen and women who put their lives at risk for our country's safety the honor of a decent budget and a minister worthy of this dignified position. I thank you.
Thank you. IFP? Okay, they are fine. ANC?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. The people of our country voted in 1994 for the People's Government, led by the African National Congress. And one of the things that they voted for is to be safe. So, the Constitution of the Republic also gave the mandate to the South African National Defence Force to make sure that our skies, oceans, land, and other important installations that are of value are guarded and protected together with our people. The budget of this department has been shrinking year by year. But we, as the African National Congress, we salute the Department of Defense and military veterans that they are able to do more with less under these trying times. The issue that is being raised by Honorable Mikalakis of the VVVIP is an issue that he knows. He wrote a letter requesting a meeting about the issue of the VVIP flights. And that he knows very well that it can only be debated or discussed in a committee meeting, not in an open, because it's a very sensitive matter. If you understand the Defense Force, you will know that howling will not, just keep quiet, you'll learn. You will learn with time. The Defense Force is not just like any other ordinary department
where you do your nilly-willy kind of things, you know, you must be vetted at a certain point, you know. You, especially those
Honorable
who...
Lambo, can you take your seat? Honorable Smith, why are you standing?
Honorable Chair, I want clarity on 2 points, point of order. Firstly, whether it is acceptable for the honorable member to address other member directly instead of through the House. And then secondly, whether it is parliamentary for the honorable member to scratch his leg inside of his pocket while he's talking to us.
Let me, Honorable Mlambo, let me make a ruling. The first one, it's not parliamentary for any member to address another member direct. You have to do it via the presiding office. On the second one, I'm not sure what you are referring to, so I won't be able to make a ruling. Can you continue, Honorable Mlambo?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. Thank you, at least you know. And I'm proud about that. Let me salute the men and women who are deployed out of the country, who are doing a very wonderful job in making sure that they try to bring peace in the continent and in the world. And our people should know that the democratic alliances of this world are against those men and women who are out of the country doing a wonderful job. And, you know, patriotism goes a long way.
Honorable Mlambo, I'm afraid your time has expired. Honorable IFP, Honorable Kaula.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. Let me start by acknowledging the improvement in the record keeping of the Department of Military Veterans, which has improved on its financial recordings from what it was last time we met on the budget. That is welcome. The issues pertaining to integration still remain hanging, Honorable Chairperson. They have not been resolved. But I want to refer to the integration of the mid-90s, that it seems to be disadvantaging some of the members who came from other quarters because of this one predicament. These members have forced numbers which can be traceable back to their origins, and now it makes it easy for them to be suppressed when it comes to the issues of promotions, and that has got to be attended to. I'm saying, Chairperson, the false numbers that were given to some members with the 90s integration is a problem because they are traceable to their origins, and these numbers are used to suppress their promotions. Chairperson, the issue of the department pertaining to priorities, you know, their priorities very wrong. You cannot say South Africa must have EPWP because people don't have jobs, because people are poor. You have got NSNP in schools because children are hungry, people are poor. You have got a child support grant because people are not working, people are poor. But at the very same time, you go and budget to buy an executive jet for one person. It is priorities very, very wrong, Honorable Chairperson. Honorable Chairperson, the other concern we have is pertaining to the transfer of skills. The country has spent billions of rands purchasing infrastructure, which unfortunately, when it has to be maintained, consultants have to come from very far outside the country to just come and do maintenance. And on that maintenance, there is also no skills transfer. So we continue the billions of rands we paid purchasing. We continue again on millions mounting to billions now on the issues of maintenance because there was no proper plan for maintenance. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you. A call for division was made. We come to the voting part. Those in favor? Thank you. Those against? Thank you. Those that are abstaining? The results of the division are as follows. In favor, 29. Against, 11. Abstaining, 0. The majority has voted in favor. I therefore declare vote 19 as agreed to. I now put vote 20. No, honorable members, don't worry, we'll have the comfort after we have passed the halfway mark. We haven't yet passed the halfway mark. Okay. Thank you. I now put vote 21. Okay. There is a division. No, 121. Yeah, 121. Okay. DA, Honorable Mohai.
Ashamed to say that they object this vote. We didn't hear them.
No, that is not a point of order. They have noted the objection of the DA, and there is a call for a declaration and a division. That is why they were standing, so that I can satisfy myself whether they meet the threshold. Honorable Mikalakis.
Thank you, House Chairperson. Yet another ANC member who should start listening. This budget is barely enough to support the administration of justice in South Africa. Over the past 2 years, the National Prosecuting Authority has struggled to fulfill its duties properly last year and the year before, when it received a larger increase in budget than it does in this year's budget. This will put extra strain on the NPA to fulfill its duties properly, duties that are vital to the service of justice in our country. The Democratic Alliance proposed that the Office of the Public Protector be funded in full by reprioritizing funds in this existing budget. The ANC voted no. But of course they would. Of course they would vote no for more money being given to the public protector, and of course they would vote no for more money being allocated towards the eradication of corruption. The lack of proper funding to the public protector has the effect that many of ordinary South Africans have complaints that are not being addressed properly. Unfortunately, the budget is being used to point a finger at her office with accusations that it is not doing its job. The DA is of the opinion that our constitutional order requires a strong and properly resourced public protector, and therefore we cannot support this budget. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other political party? IFP? Okay. ANC? Honorable Wana?
Thank you, Chairperson. Good afternoon to everybody. I'm standing here on behalf of the African National Congress. Chairperson, it's clear that today the true colors of the remnants of the system of apartheid is rising their ugly heads. Because the system of apartheid never accommodated the constitution of the African National Congress. This developmental constitution was done because our forefathers,
they used to change their names because of the oppression of the masters of colonialism. And secondly, today, justice is transforming because we are very proud as African National Congress to stand here saying we've got judges who are ladies. During the apartheid, it's a pity bantu bakuthi abelungu wathi Madiba abelungu ngeke bavuma basibaphathi kangangoba bajika naba bethu abantu bazenza abelungu. So we are not dealing with an easy issue up. But ndiyayithanda African National Congress because created a word said majority. Even if they don't want anything, they will never want anything because they want our parents to be slaves. This month is an African month because the whites used to make black slaves. That won't allow. That's why as ANC, we say this budget, we support it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Those in favor? Thank you. Against? Those that are against? Thank you. Abstaining? The results of the division are as follows. In favor, 27. Against, 10. Abstaining, it's 0. The majority have voted in favor. I therefore declare vote 21 as agreed to. I now put vote 22. It's the last one.
Support and declare. Support and declare.
Okay. Declarations, Honorable Kalakis, they support, and it's only declarations.
Thank you, Honorable House Chairperson. This year we celebrate 20 years of our democratic constitution, something you should read, a milestone which we as a nation can forever be proud of. It is this constitution and the interpretation thereof by the Constitutional Court that remain a beaming light of hope even in our darkest hours. It is this that ensures that no matter who is in control of the executive arm of the state, justice will always reign supreme as long as the rule of law is respected and our democracy is based on sound values, social justice, and human rights. An open society where we are all equal before the law. Of course, this means that the judiciary often has to make decisions against the other two branches of state, as it often has, to its own credit. However, this might in future pose a risk to other arms of state, and they might use the dependence of the judiciary on the state for a budget allocation to intimidate or to unlawfully influence the judiciary. This would not be surprising considering the ANC's contradiction of itself, saying that it respects the judiciary only to turn around and to do the contrary. Fortunately, the second budget of the Chief Justice as a budget allocation on its own seems not to have been subject to this trap just yet, and we therefore support this budget whilst encouraging the judiciary to continue to develop our constitutional order in the interest of all South Africans. I thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Kaula, IFP.
Two things, Honorable Chairperson. One, the IFP would like to salute the retired Deputy Chief Justice Dikgang Moseneke for the sterling job that he has done, for the sterling work representing South Africa. We say to you, sir, wherever you are, well done. You have done great for South Africa. Secondly, we would also like to thank the Chief Justices of our, all the justices of our country at the Constitutional Court for a good job. And we would also like to say to them, if this could also spill over down to all the courts in South Africa, because we still do need to improve here and there. when it comes to the courts of our country. But we do want to say the Chief Justices of our country and our Constitutional Court, bravo. Thank you.
Thank you. ANC, Honorable Mthethwa.
As the ANC, we support budget vote 122 of the Office of the Chief Justice and Judicial Administration. As the ANC, we support budget vote 122 of the Office of the Chief Justice and Judicial Administration. This office is at the cornerstone of the administration of justice and ensuring for administration justice to our people. This office is new and became fully operational in April 2015. One of its key mandates is to implement and monitor judicial norms and standards for effective case flow management. The Office of the Chief Justice serves as an important instrumental for enforcing national and provincial efficiency in our administration of justice. This office also serves as a very instrumental mechanism for the appointment and training of judicial officers. As the ANC, we support this budget vote because we believe that it is a very important mechanism for assisting our national efforts to provide effective judicial support and administration of justice in our courts. And we also wanted to say that we can clap hands today because when we look at the justice system, we look at the work of the movement. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable members, my appeal is that it has been brought to my attention that they have organized the tea for 6 o'clock. So if we can break now, it means we will be inconvenienced. So let's take it until the 6 for the tea. I now put vote 23. Okay, declaration, objection. Let me see the numbers. The numbers. You meet the threshold. Thank you. Then the declaration, Honorable Mikalakis.
Thank you, Honourable House Chairperson. This will be the last time, I promise. The Democratic Alliance, knowing that the safety of our communities is of paramount importance, made the suggestion that an extra amount of 500 million rand needs to be allocated for the establishment of a critically needed unit specializing in fighting gang and drug-related crime. This proposal was rejected by the ANC, who clearly do not prioritize the eradication of drug and gang-related violence as high as the DA does. Instead, they opted for a budget that will see a 14% increase in the allocation of the VIP protection service that will benefit not you, the people of this country, but elite politicians. Much has been said about the serious lack of basic resources for our SAPS members on the ground in helping them to ensure our community's safety. And in light of this, the budget tabled here does not resemble what the SAPS budget would look like under a DA government. We would put the people and their safety first and the politicians last. The budget serves to help the current minister to continue his duties as witch hunter and protector extraordinaire of the interests of President Zuma to the detriment of ordinary South Africans and their safety. I thank you.
Thank you. IFP, Honorable Kaula. Okay, thank you. Any other party? ANC, Honorable Gimbi.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, I concur with other speakers that the DA doesn't like any development in this country. Almost. Chairperson, the police, really, the police that we have today are far better than the police that we had before 1994. at the time of Nationalist Party and the DP, who formed the DA. So those police are far better than that. And Chairperson, let me assure you that we are not going back. We are going forward. We cannot be garden boys again and kitchen girls. We are going forward. Chairperson, let me remind the honorable member that the United Nations Office on the drugs and crime states that good policing requires public cooperation, yet only if people trust the police and regard them as legitimate are they willing to assist them and comply with their instructions, enabling the police to succeed in all their core functions on maintaining public and protection and dictating crime, enhancing police accountable and integrate in what duty they are doing. Chairperson, therefore, appropriate police action involves finding a balance between saving the state services, the public, and police professionalism. I know, Chairperson, we support this budget. And the NDP Chairperson, which was voted by all of us.
Honorable Trimbi, can you take your seat? Let me deal with
Chairperson, I just
Honorable
wanted to know
Julius.
whether you are still checking the time.
Definitely, it's here. It's left with now 26 seconds. I'm checking it. No, it's here.
Chairperson, the NDP, which was voted by all of us, speaks to ensuring this balance and stated that by 2030, all people in South Africa should feel safe and not fear crime. Chairperson, let me note that on a provincial level,
Honorable Trimbi, I'm afraid your time has expired. We now come to the voting part. Those in favor, raise their hands. Thank you. Those against? Thank you. Abstaining? The results of the division are as follows. In favor, 29, against 10, abstaining 0. The majority have voted in favor. I therefore declare vote 23 as agreed to. I now put vote 24.
Object, divide, and declare.
Note the objection of the Democratic Alliance. The declaration. Honorable Smith.
Thank you, Honorable House Chair. Listen very carefully. Honorable Chairperson, this department is not taking the risk of food security seriously, as they are still either disillusioned or refuse to acknowledge the impact of the drought this past year. This will have an unprecedented impact on priced food that will hurt the poorest of the poor the most. It has already and still will lead to serious job losses within the industry and beyond, as farmers cannot survive on their own without government support. We know South Africa may need...
Honorable Smith, sorry. Honorable Mlambo, why are you standing?
On a point of order.
Okay.
The honorable member is part and parcel of our select committee. He is misleading the House.
No, that is
and
not
the
a point of
public.
order.
He can't say the department
Honorable
is
Mlambo,
not...
Honorable Mlambo, that is not a point of order. Honorable Smith, continue.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. The Honorable member is also the solution to what's going on in the House, it seems. We know South Africa may need to import about 6 million tons of grain in order to meet the food requirements of the population. A total of 305 million rand has been made available for drought relief by the Department of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries. However, this is a drop in the ocean to what is required. A request for emergency funding in the amount of 4.2 billion rand for the emergency drought relief have already been received by the department, and they're not reacting to that. The department proposed an amendment to the Appropriation Bill to increase the DA proposed an amendment to the Appropriation Bill to increase the appropriation on agriculture, forestry and fisheries by 2.73 billion rand to provide drought relief to drought-stricken communities in 2016-17 financial year. This proposal was met with an arrogant ANC who are more concerned with the election than they are with ensuring that our people are provided for. Fisheries is still in a state of disarray, and the Chinese are looting our already truncated fish stocks. The budget is shrinking, and the ANC government do not take agriculture seriously. The DA strongly oppose this job-destructive and anti-poor budget. I thank you.
Thank you. Honorable ANC. Honorable High.
Thank you, Honorable House Chair. As the African National Congress, we are not surprised that the DA is objecting on this budget vote number 24. Actually, it's not only objecting to this particular vote. The common trend on their objections is on those departments that are transforming, because DA is anti-transformation. Whether you're talking about employment equity or you're talking about black economic empowerment. So they object to all those departments. If you record all their objections, they are mainly in those departments that are transforming.
Can you take your seat? Let me entertain Honorable Julius. Order members.
Chairperson, I'll take a different trend now. I'm not saying that the honorable member is misleading the House, but can you ask him to bring proof of that from our policies? Because he's lying.
Honorable Julius.
Doesn't know what he's saying, talking about. You can't come here, Chairperson, and speak here just like that. That's why you make the mistake. You must go and read and write. You can't come here with something
Honorable
that
Julius.
you wrote on a toilet paper and you must read
Honorable
it as
Julius.
a declaration.
Yeah. Can you take your seat, Honorable Ntebe, so that I can make a ruling? Honorable Julius, you know very well that is why you never referred to any rule. You said you are coming with another angle. So that is not a point of order. Continue, Honorable.
I repeat, Chair. This is anti-transformation party. There is proof. They objected to the employment equity. They don't support black economic empowerment. That is a fact. If you look at all these departments that they are objecting on, all of them have to do with transformation. So they don't like transformation. So that's why they're objecting. Now, we say thanks to the African National Congress, because black people are no longer just slaves and farm workers. Black people also own farms. And the ANC is supporting black farmers. It has introduced projects such as CASP, Ilima, Litsima, and the land care to support, in particular, black people so that they are not just slaves, but they also become farm owners, not just farm workers. We also support what the Department of Rural Development and Land Reform is coming up with, the 50-50 policies, because that will also ensure that we have more black people that will be farm owners, not just farm workers or slaves. The primary mandate of the Department of Agriculture, Forestry, and Fisheries, these three sectors in this particular department were those areas that were dominated.
Honorable Khai,
Honorable House Chair, I actually just want a point of clarity whether the honorable member know that we are busy with vote number 24 and not vote number 39 on the paper. And then secondly, I also want to know if the honorable member knows that just today in the NA, they have approved for the drought to be declared a national drought disaster.
Honorable Smith, that is not a point of order. Honorable Smith, that is not a point of order. Continue, Honorable, as you conclude.
Thank you very much, Chair. You know, some of this initiative by the national government, particularly this particular department, you're talking CASP, land care, and it's Ilima, Litsima. In the Western Cape, only 1% of black people are benefiting. You know the reason that they've always been pestering the government to declare
Honorable
drought.
Khai, I'm afraid your time has expired. As the division has been called, we come to the voting. In favor, a show of hand. Thank you. Those that are against? Thank you. Those that are abstaining? The results of the division are as follows. In favor, 29. Against, 11. Abstaining, 0. The majority voted in favor. I therefore declared vote 24 as agreed to. I now put vote 25. Any objection?
No, we object and declare.
Objection and declaration?
Yeah.
No division. Thank you. The declaration. DA, Honorable Van Lingen.
Honorable Chairperson, this department is a mere postbox and should not exist at all. In the DA's plan for 15 ministries, this one should be recategorized under trade and industry. The so-called function that the department is responsible for unblocking critical issues in the President's infrastructure development plan in terms of the SIP project program is a joke. Although the Infrastructure Development Act number 23 of 2014 is covering the functions of this department, the department only provides the Secretariat for the Presidential Infrastructure Coordinating Commission, or the PICC. The function is to report to the PICC on a quarterly basis, and nobody else has access to these documents. Perhaps the executive has access to such reports, but Parliament does not see what the department is doing. There is no scope for oversight on this secretariat. Therefore, there is no transparency, and we here in the NCOP cannot see what the department is doing in our provinces. Well, it just proves the point, Honourable Chairperson, they don't care. We have 8.9 million people unemployed in South Africa, and jobs are lost daily. Every year, many young people drop out of school, and others finish school, and then there are some finishing a tertiary education who also join the job market. More and more young people cannot find a job. And you know, at the rate they're laughing, it is actually a disgrace how they're laughing at the unemployment. The latest unemployment figures are absolutely shocking. In the deep rural areas of the Eastern Cape, it is as high as 50%. The department is not creating jobs it is bragging about. These jobs are created in other departments, but the department quotes the same figures as those departments do, and thereby is misleading the country. For the work done by this department, it is clear that the existence of the department cannot be justified, and the DA cannot support this budget.
Order, members. Any party? ANC, Honorable Ntebe.
No, Chair. Let's take our learned friends back. In 1996, during the adoption of the now celebrated Constitution, which was rejected by the DA, by the way, and specifically rejecting Clause 25 and the labor relation part of the Constitution, part of what we wanted to address at that time was that the country moving into democracy was sitting at 42% of the GDP of indebtedness in this country. In order for us to be able to move forward, we understood that we needed to create sound economic growth in this country. This is what this department is doing. We needed to create a conducive investment environment in this country. We needed to stimulate growth in this country. We needed infrastructural development in this country. We needed, and one thing, and that's why Honorable Khai was correct. When you want to reject this bill, they don't say it here, but we know that they don't support the Black Industrialist program. We know. That's why they are here and rejecting this. We know that they don't support market penetration that we are beginning to address for our own people. We know that when we talk about intra-African trade penetration, they don't want to be it. Yesterday, they were dressed in African attire and celebrating Africa Day. When we say let's make sure that Africa becomes the biggest market in the world, competitive, to be able to be in the level that we want it to be, so that we stop the 83% of the AU market hegemony in this country. They don't want to agree with us. Chair, we are here to say this department is doing wonders. We want to support them. Thank you.
Thank you. I now put vote 26. Any objection? No.
26, we've just done economic development. Could you give me the scores on economic development?
There was no division called.
So you're quite happy that the fact that we opposed it, we don't have to count votes?
Honorable Van Lingen, we do the counting when we're doing with the division. You never call for a division.
No, I didn't call for a division. How many voted against this?
We never voted.
That's
we only
the
vote
point.
when there's a division.
We objected to this.
Yes, so that is why I said we're noting the objection of the Democratic Alliance. I said that. We note the objection.
So how do you know the vote is passed or not? How does he know the vote is passed?
I now put vote 26.
On 26, we want to declare, object, and we call for a division.
Thank you. Let me see the numbers so that I can be satisfied that you meet the threshold. Thank you. Then we can get to the declarations. Democratic Alliance, Honorable Van Lingen.
Honorable Chairperson, the Department of Energy is responsible for energy security in South Africa and it is failing dismally. Minister Tina Joemat-Pettersson is not considering or executing her many responsibilities in an open and transparent manner that as required by our Constitution in terms of Section 217, subsection 1, which says, when an organ of state contracts for goods or services, it must do so in accordance with a system which is fair, equitable, transparent, competitive, and cost-effective. I close quote. The market pressure for request for proposals on the nuclear procurement program is building up. The deadline was 1 April, but I have to quote my colleague, Honorable Gordon McKay, from the National Assembly, where he warned the minister, and I open quote, as regards the minister's statutory obligations, the Electricity Regulation Act is unambiguous when it states that the decision to procure nuclear and the nuclear procurement system must be taken prior to the commencement of nuclear procurement, close quote. She furthermore, this is now the minister, selects to submit specific international agreements to avoid Parliament's approval by submitting it in terms of Section 2312 of the Constitution, where parliamentary approval is required. She is only notifying Parliament in terms of Section 231, subsection 3 of the Constitution, of the Russian and the other international government agreements. How can we trust such a minister? The minister must stop stalling legal processes and submit her final arguments to court. Then she must wait for a court ruling. Not that the ANC really listens to that. The department is responsible for NERSA and the appropriate regulations. NERSA has to publish the small-scale embedded generation, or SSEG regulations, by May 2015, and they haven't done so. NERSA is now waiting the Department of Energy to publish the licensing regulations. Why is the department not publishing the policy framework so that the NERSA regulatory rules can be published for SSEG? The minister ignored the urgent request made in my budget speech, where I requested a bid window for low voltage connections and not medium voltage connections, as she implied in her speech. Small scale producers and entrepreneurs. Typically, I'm closing, Honorable Chairperson.
I'm afraid your time has expired. Honorable, any other political party? ANC, Honorable Ntebe.
Once again, Chair, just as in the Constitution, the DA is selectively selecting what the NDP says. The NDP speaks about the energy mix. In the energy mix, you talk about all aspects of energy generation, including the ones that they want to reject now. You talk about energy security today that our people never had in the past. You talk about inclusive, that's why Honorable Van Lingen would stand up and talk about being competitive, and they leave deliberately the word inclusive, because they don't want our people to enter the same market that they dominate. In the Northern Cape, Chair, if you can go today, there's a booming of green energy in the Northern Cape today, produced, led by policies of this very government. They come here today and they don't talk about that. You go to Northern Cape today, you don't even have to be a rocket scientist. You can see the booming of green energy in the Northern Cape. And we are saying today in South Africa, in an hour, 73 households are getting connected to the grid. And this is the achievement of this country. We are saying our people must have energy security, our people must be empowered, and we will not be held to ransom by people who don't want to see and wants to pick and choose a developmental program of our country being the NDP. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. IFP, Honorable Kaula.
Ngiyathokoza sihlalo hloniphekile. Honorable Chairperson, the nuclear energy for South Africa is a non-starter. And the government must, it's high time that government goes back to the drawing board and rethink this, Honorable Chairperson. And it's a pity that several figures in government have had to be sacrificed just for this. And it has to stop, Honorable Chairperson. Firstly, the former Minister of Finance, my homeboy, Honorable Nene, and then later on, all these shenanigans that I've been speaking about behind the current Minister of Finance, Honorable Pravin Gordhan. Now, the question is, like I said in the past, how many will have to fall before government realizes that this thing is a non-starter? Because, Honorable Chairperson, all these ministers have said South Africa does not have money to fund the nuclear deal in South Africa. Now, Honorable Chairperson, the second thing that we have to talk about is this issue of load shedding, load shifting, and so on and so forth. It's a good thing that we have moved away from load shedding. We are now in load shifting. But there is another theory. South African companies have scaled down on production. And therefore, it's not that there is no need for load shedding anymore, but we have scaled down on production, which is affecting jobs. People are losing jobs because companies have scaled down on production. It is affecting the country. Lastly, Honorable Chairperson, price increases affect the poor more. Therefore, whenever there is to be a price increase on energy, government must first think of those who will be affected more, the poor, because it affects every other aspect of life. It affects food, it affects transport, it affects every other aspect. So price increases must be clearly monitored. Properly monitored. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Coming to the voting. Those in favor, a show of hand. Thank you. Those voting against? Thank you. Abstaining? The results of the division are as follows. In favor, 29, against 11, abstaining 0. The majority have voted in favor, therefore declared vote 26 as agreed to. Honorable members, the comfort break is strictly 10 minutes. So it means by 10 past, it's strictly 10 minutes. 15 minutes, strictly 15 minutes. Thank you.